Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Today, we are talking about a very interesting subject. It was brought to my attention that apparently Ethiopians are poking fun at our dear brother, Dr. Martin, our dear fallen brother, Dr. Martin Luther King. And I just, that really got my head twirling around. And as I laid in bed, getting my little after work nap in, I thought about 1935 when Black Americans lined up in droves to help the Ethiopians fight the Italians. Number one, why in the hell don't we know about that in school? Why do I have to find out about that in spaces? Why don't I, a licensed historian, why was I not taught that in school? European academic canon avoids that. So that we're going to talk a little bit about that before we even delve into that. I wanted to kind of identify Ethiopia's problem. So we're going real back, real way deep into history to tell you some problems that most of you didn't know about Ethiopia. Our scholarship of the day is Dr. Chancellor Williams, chapter 2 of his masterpiece, like this labeled Ethiopia old Egypt, Ethiopia's oldest daughter. So that implies that Ethiopia was before Egypt. This would be a good room for Brother Mikhail. I don't see him in here yet, but we can go ahead and get it
He's in
popping
the
off.
fight room.
Oh, the fight room. Okay. Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. So, well, anyway, let's look at this. So, Wani, could you brief us on the issue with Ethiopia poking fun at our dear brother Martin Luther King? Ethiopians, rather.
Well, it's layered because, in the first place, they wanted to make money in a black town or in a black area in Georgia, number one. And then that's why I know it's evil because, and this is like esoteric, but it becomes an evil activity when you have so many layers. So the second layer is that they wanted to make money off of Martin Luther King, which has nothing to do with Ethiopians at all. So that's layer number two. And also, the third layer is that not only are they in a black area trying to make money off of Martin Luther King with a side party, but they wanted to be disrespectful and show him as a gangbanger, uh, you know, in doggy style with Rosa Parks in a doggy style sexual position. So that's why you know they're evil. They're just pure evil. You're trying to make money off of our people and disrespecting them at the same time. And I just don't understand it because I'm looking at the owner. She looks like a regular woman, but I'm going to find out who came up with that flyer because she's lying and saying she doesn't know them and she doesn't know why that flyer was going around. Ma'am, you have an event at your restaurant, and this is the flyer for it. It's all over Eventbrite. So, how do you not know about it? You don't know about a flyer at your restaurant? Seems unlikely. And I'm going to find out who put that up there and really try to have a conversation with what's going on in their mind because that's pure jealousy. They don't even have anybody famous. Because when I made a poster with those same positions in it, I put Haile Selassie, who nobody knows his face. I had to put his name under it. But they can put Martin Luther King up there with Rosa Parks and everybody knows who that is. But they don't have anybody who I could put up and know who they are. So I had to put Haile Selassie banging uh, Bob Marley up the butt.
Wow. Well, thank you for letting us know that, Wani. So let's go ahead. You said you don't know why they're doing this. Look, you know what? I'm gonna say I do. And I bet you can guess why. It makes sense. It's the same story everywhere. To understand this vitriol and this uncouth behavior, we're going to have to go back to the third millennium BC. Let's go way back, and let's keep in mind what Professor James Small says: history will erase the mystery. So, according to Dr. Chancellor Williams, I'm paraphrasing. In the third millennium, Ethiopia was, you guessed it, invaded by white folk. Um, uh, Dr. Williams says, quote, the gold mines below the first cataract was also a magnet that drew Caucasian people from many lands to Ethiopia. These increased in number and variety, the undermining of black power was accelerated. So Ethiopia was invaded by Caucasian folk, and they kicked them out and did to the Ethiopians what they do to everybody everywhere. We're talking about in 3000 BC, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Williams says the blacks were pushed to the bottom of the social, economic, and political ladder when wherever the Asian and their mulatto offsprings gain control. So you got all these different groups of people going to Ethiopia to their own damn homeland and kicking their ass down to the bottom of the social economic status and running they shit in 3000 fucking BC. How did they do it? They did it by race mixing. Dr. Williams says the scheme of weakening the blacks by turning their half white brothers against them cannot be overemphasized because it began in early times and it became the universal practice of whites and is still one of the cornerstones in the edifice of white power. Why does nobody talk about that? Why didn't anybody talk about race mixing as a form of weaponry? So basically, Ethiopia was race mixed with Europeans, according to Dr. Williams, and the half-white Ethiopians turned against the other Ethiopians and allowed the system of white supremacy to reign supreme in Ethiopia. Did y'all know that? Did you know that, Wani?
No,
That
not
has
at
me.
all.
Yes, that has me my wheels turning because I wondered why Ethiopians look the way they look. Do they look the way they look because they were raped by or race mixed with Caucasians?
I remember watching an interview set back in the 1950s, and I should post it up. This Ethiopian man said, "Oh no, I have no Negro blood." He's sitting up there looking like pure Negro. No Negro blood. Well, what kind of blood do you have? I mean, we're running out of blood types here. You're not white, you're not Arab, you're not Negro, so what are you? Maybe you know something I don't know. Maybe he's got alien blood. Explains the foreheads.
Yeah. Check this shit out. The white Asians were, and this is in Ethiopia. This is from Dr. Chancellor Williams. He says, "quote The white Asians were generally proud of their sons by black women, but these black mothers remained slaves, while their mulatto sons and daughters were born free and moreover classified as white." As such, they were formed a social class that, while never recognized as equal with the real whites, had just about all the other privileges of free men. I had no clue that shit happened in Ethiopia. So you got people walking around in Ethiopia thinking that they better than the other blacks. So that to me that would is a justification for them, dissing our brother. Given what Dr. Chancellor Williams said, maybe in the back of their mind they think that they better than us.
Okay, so it's still confusing to me because if they feel like that they're white, why do they even think about Dr. Martin Luther King? Like you would think that if they identified as white, like this man is saying, that he wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Well, couldn't it be the Myron Gaines tactic of trying to prove your worthiness to the system of white supremacy by attacking, you know, foundational Black Americans? Could that be it?
For the restaurant in this particular scenario,
Yeah, but then again, that doesn't make
not
sense to me.
sure.
If I owned a restaurant, I'd be careful about that because a large portion of her customers have to be Black Americans. I don't know. It was ignorant as fuck. I think if you want
It's
my go ahead.
frustrating on a lot of levels because her doing that implies that she's surrounded by weak people that will not defend Dr. Martin Luther King or Rosa Parks. She felt that that was acceptable. And so now I'm wondering what kind of people are in Georgia. Like what are they doing over there? Where
Oh,
she feels comfortable to do that.
oh yeah, I'm in
It's
Atlanta.
reminding me of New York.
That's but you know what? Atlanta's turning to Chicago. I mean, turning to California, New York. It's turning to Los Angeles slash New York. I don't see when I was a child in the '90s, we used to come to Six Flags and then go to the underground in Atlanta. And Atlanta was it was like a big Birmingham. It was a big FBA city. But now, it's hard to find Americans here. I think we have a Ethiopian in our midst. Um, let's find out what Ezra thinks about this. Good evening, Ezra. You're Ethiopian. I see your picture. Yes, sir.
No, I'm not Ethiopian, but I'm actually a post Pan Africanist passport bro
Oh,
who spent 7 years in
okay.
Ethiopia.
Yeah. Did you hear what we said? What Dr. Chancellor Williams said about Ethiopians? Dr. Chancellor Williams said that in 3000 BC they were amalgamated with whites and allowed to cosplay as white. Is that true?
Well, see, the thing about Ethiopia is the geographical territory of Ethiopia itself is the territory of Ethiopia means black, right? It means burnt face, and it was originated by the Greeks who first discovered the. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Ethios
yeah.
means burnt. It means burnt
It,
skin. But go ahead.
it burnt skin exactly, and it was originated by the Greeks. So to make a long story short, when we think of Ethiopia and we meet Ethiopians here, and I heard you guys say Atlanta. I'm kind of getting in late because I just got here, but I live in Atlanta, by the way, too. But when we think of Ethiopians, we all think that monolithic, but actually Ethiopia has like 80 different tribes, right?
Uh,
So most of the Ethiopians that you meet on your typical basis of going out and about, they are different. There are 3 or 4 different tribes that we meet every day, and we know Ethiopians. But there are Somali Ethiopians, there are uh,
Oromo.
Afar Ethiopians, Arab Ethiopians, believe it or not, who live in Ethiopia, right? And so, but we know the Amahar Ethiopians, the Tigray Ethiopians, and we know the Oromo Ethiopians. That's what we know because that's the face of Ethiopia typically, you know.
Yes.
But there are dark skinned Ethiopians all over Ethiopia, especially in South Ethiopia, the ones who live in the mountains. So, so when you say Ethiopian, you got to be more narrow, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of different type of skin tone Ethiopians, different tribes of Ethiopians, and they too technically are Ethiopians because they live within the geographical boundaries of Ethiopia, the nation state. You see what I'm saying?
right. Well,
So the thing about
go ahead.
them thinking that they're Caucasian, let me tell you, my experience living with Ethiopians in Ethiopia, they're hospitable. And now here in the United States, we do have the tethers, and some of them have slipped through the cracks and got to our country, you know. But typically, Ethiopians are kind people when you live over there. I do know that there's a big difference of Ethiopians that lives the native Ethiopians than when you go to visit and the ones that make them ways over here because the ones that make them way over here they think that they're kind of like a part of the what you call elite class, you know. So they
Hmm.
got ways to get over here. They have they have their meetings and stuff with these our government officials and stuff. Let them over here, you know, because believe it or not, a lot of Caucasians, like real Caucasians, they go to Ethiopia and they vet the ones they want to bring over. But I'm not trying to sound funny, but Ethiopians, to my opinion, are more towards Caucasian than us. And the reason why I
Right.
say the reason why I say that is because their mannerism and culture, their mannerism and the way their psychology works is closer to Caucasians, believe it or not. Like when it comes to the Amahar, the Tigray, and sometimes the Oromo, like you know, you might meet some Ethiopians that behave more like a black, but they might be a different tribe. I'm just telling you, I'm not a tribal person, but that's just the reality of Ethiopia. They're very tribal. So
I believe it. Shit. 15. What year is it? 15 years ago. I lived in D.C. when I worked at Smithsonian, and I had a group of homies I used to kick it with, like some straight up ballers. We all was players, you know what I'm saying? I had no problem with the ladies. And we went to Howard one day to talk to some girls. And one of the homies with me saw that this girl was fucking beautiful. But actually, all of them were fucking beautiful. They were Ethiopian. And they were just strikingly beautiful. Like, what the fuck? And my boy went to go talk to one of them and spit some game. And she started giggling and shit. But she was like, no, 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 I'm sorry. I don't date black guys. And we were like, what the fuck? You don't date black guys? You're darker than us. We all was like, What the fuck you
Yeah,
mean you don't date black guys? And she's like, no, 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 I'm not allowed. I think you're cute and all, but I'm not allowed to date black guys. And I was like, okay, well, shit, maybe that's what she believed. We came back to, we came back the next month, and she up there with a white dude. So that kind of
oh yeah,
that stuck in my head that they wouldn't fuck with no FBA players. I mean, the dude that was spitting game at her was an engineer. He wasn't no nobody. You know what I'm saying? He's making
yeah, yeah.
making
Hey
200
man,
working at Lockheed. You know what I'm saying? And she dissed his ass. That stood in my mind that I had never seen somebody. She looked like a sister. She just looked like a sister to me. Uh, and I
yeah.
never seen a sister like this. Somebody that was flying had it going on like that. That shit that stuck in my mind. I didn't understand it then.
That's why I told you they mannerism and they psychology, even though they can be good people. For example, I ain't gonna, we Black Americans, I believe, I'm not trying to like sound like open the stars or nothing, but sometimes I do believe that we are the only race of people that are not Caucasian sometimes, man, because almost everybody's on the same bandwagon with the
Mhm.
Caucasians, like
You're
the
right.
Ethiopians, the Arabs, the Asians, and we're like the only race of people on the
That's
planet that's
proud to
outside
be
the
us.
box.
We
Yes,
are a
sir.
monkey wrench. We are a monkey wrench in the plan. That's
Right.
right.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's about us that we so different that make everybody team up against us. You know what I mean?
We love
We're
being.
working on
But
that.
Yeah.
We're still working
but
on that.
That-
but let me tell you one more thing. The typical Ethiopian, my experience is this, and I'll leave it at this, unless you ask more questions. There is a difference between going to Ethiopia and meeting the people themselves and running into your typical tether here in the United States. When I'm actually married to an Ethiopian, right? So
you
when I
are.
got married,
Okay.
yes, I
Okay.
am. My, I detethered my wife though, man. She's not a tether though. you know, I had to
How does
explain.
one detether someone?
I ain't never heard that before. That's funny.
because they all have the same mantra. They all have this. Like, unfortunately, when they the same narrative is floating around the mouths of not only Ethiopian but all the tethers. And so they all have this idea of who we are. But the funny thing about it is, you'll be hard pressed to find an Ethiopian who even knows who the hell Martin Luther King is or Malcolm X. The typical Ethiopian do not know who they are. Like, I'm surprised that so many people can come to our country and not even know even one iota about Black American history. Sometimes they don't even know basic American history. These new immigrants today, they just come over here for the comfort. You know what I mean? But at the same time, what they don't know is a hidden there's a hidden thing going on behind the curtains in American politics and social life, and the social engineering in this country, that when they come they don't understand, and they just listen to what other people say, and they have what you call intellectual laziness to find out for themselves what's going on. So they pretty much, and then until they get in contact with one of us to put them back on straight and narrow, like, hey, look, we're not lazy. Actual matter of fact, we built this nation. If it wasn't for us, you guys wouldn't be here in the first place. 400 years of slavery, that's not lazy, okay? Pitting
How did
somebody
you
into slavery,
how did you
huh?
detether her though?
Well, I had to literally talk to her about everything that she said that kind of pissed me off, when I first met her. And I had to teach her step by step about our people and the importance of Black Americans in the United States, because she was, she didn't know too much about our culture, and I had to teach her. And so
Okay,
I detethered
so
her by pretty much um, teaching her. I'm not gonna say she's a writer, but she's neutral now, But basically teaching her basically more about our culture, and giving her the works that the knowledge that me and you share, that Tariq Nasheed shares with us, and we all like share together. I dropped it on her, you know what I'm saying? And then
so
eventually the truth, huh?
that's just okay. If that's okay, if you feel comfortable with that, then that's good. But I would not feel comfortable with somebody having a predisposed uh, disdain and negative attitude about my race because it doesn't just go away that fast. That's like saying I met a white boy and I told him black people aren't bad and he said okay. Well, yeah, he likes me, but does he like black people is the real question. And the answer is always going to be no. I can meet all kinds of people that like me, and they'll make comments like, well, you're not like the other one,
Oh man, I so yes.
just to get away with, trying to justify their feelings toward me. Anybody who talks like that, I am so ghost. It's not even funny. I will get the hell up out of there in a minute. But if you can, I mean, I wouldn't put all that
No,
effort into teaching somebody to not be an ethnic bigot. Scott, I don't know how you can do it.
Yeah, just for you, just for anyone to say that they can, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but to the thought of say that you can detether someone if that was the case beforehand, it's just unrealistic to me. I am who my mother and father raised me to be. I am part of their value system. I've heard of people saying that they were raised to be racist and that they aren't that way, but part of them still is racist. A lot of them, they all still benefit from the system of, wait a minute, of white supremacy. And on top of that, uh, even when like a white person marries a black person, even if that black husband teaches his white wife how to be on code, there's still going to be some of that white mother in there. And the even if your kids are mixed, and there's a lot of black kids that I've met who were just straight up black on the inside and on code. But then there's always that little extra something that you have to kind of iron out of them. There's always that little extra something. But even and I hate to just big up on Dr. Umar Johnson, but he always would say something about once you get a little bit of that coon, once it gets activated in you, it's hard to turn it off. Once you get, and I think that that goes for the tether gene. Once you get that in you, it's hard to turn that off. Once you have that attitude ingrained inside of you, you can't just undo it by telling somebody, hey, don't think like this, don't think like that. I feel like people go out of their way to justify who they want to sleep with. And that is the problem. People want to sleep with who they want to sleep with, and then everybody else has to deal with the consequences from who their choice of sleeping with is. That's all.
Well, that y'all, guys, y'all are on the tip. Like this is divine almost because the next thing I was going to talk about in Dr. Chancellor Williams' book, I'm reading out of Destruction of Black Civilization by the great Dr. Chancellor Williams in his chapter called Egypt, Ethiopia's oldest daughter, and he talks about how Ethiopia was ravaged, how it was destroyed. And listen to what he said. The biggest problem of Ethiopia, he calls it the mulatto problem, just like Nikki and Wani and the gentleman was saying. Dr. Williams says, quote, the recent revival of Black is Beautiful is no more than that, a revival. Wani, it seems like you're trying to revive, like we're going in circles here. We're going back to what worked, the revival of Black is Beautiful. So that's very interesting. Dr. Williams further says the great majority of ancient blacks took great pride in their color, and their resistance to amalgamation may be so interpreted. For one thing they observed in Egypt was that a dynasty beginning all black could remain unbroken over generations and still in the end become near white in color with not a black face in the royal lineage. Ethiopia was taken over by race mixing. They allowed that shit to happen. Like Nikki just said, they found a way to justify sleeping with somebody who didn't look like them. Yeah, hell yeah. You didn't notice, did you? Dr. Williams further says this two-way process of intermingling and direct aggression. This shit happening right now. We talking about. Listen, guys, what I'm reading from is from 3000 BC. Direct intermingling and direct aggression meant victory for white Asians in the end. Is it race mixing? Is that the primary vector of attack that we're missing out on? Is that what it is? Is
Could
that
be. Could
that's
be.
it, isn't it?
But there's always a percentage, so never feel, spazzed out, because there's always a percentage of people in a group that want somebody from another group. It's usually that, but it's good that we keep most of the people close to 90%, 80 some, 87, 83% of Black Americans marry each other. But there's always going to be someone in the group that's expected, you know. We have very high retention of our people, probably built on a trauma bond. Um, but there's always going to be a percentage that want to do something else for whatever reasons. It doesn't matter. They could be attracted to them. Sometimes opposites attract, and they feel that the opposite needs to be racial. Like I could have opposites attract. Maybe if I was, a tidy person, I want someone who's sloppy, something like that. But other people take opposites attract racially. So it could be that, or it could be that you had trauma with a group and you don't want anything to do with them and you just want to pretend to be another group. I've seen different people um, marry out for different reasons.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Well, on my end, well, to be honest, I did not think of it as marrying outside my race when I first met my wife, because my wife
Yeah,
is
we
dark skinned.
know.
She's
We know.
beautiful, but she's dark skinned,
We
right?
know. We get
So
it.
in my head, I was thinking I was marrying a black woman. You know, it wasn't until 2000 and maybe 21 or 22, no, actually 21 or 20, that I found out about Tariq Nasheed. I learned about my heritage in a different way, and then that's when I discovered that, yeah, I mean, I'm a different race of people, and I think that we as FBAs, we're just waking up, some of us, that we are a different lineage than Caribbeans and Trinidadians and Ethiopians. It was a point in my life where I actually thought that I was the same as all black people. I thought we were all the same. I didn't know about the
That's
mentality that
that's because of DNA. We didn't have DNA to show us the different haplogroups for quite a long time while we were working this out. Most of the time that we've been here, most of the time that we've been this ethnicity based on the ethnogenesis, we didn't have the benefit of DNA and we didn't have the benefit of genealogy online. Yes, you could go to your local records, you could, rummage through stuff, go to a library or a church, but most people didn't do that. Most people did not do that, and it became very accessible to do it through genealogy. So we're learning a lot through those ways. But yes, we that you did feel you were marrying a woman of African descent, and you were. So we're not busting people's chops on decisions that they made prior to this. And like I said, I'm not busting people's chops if, like I said, a portion of people are gonna want to marry outside and let the chips fall where they may. I might look at them like, that's crazy. I wouldn't do it because I know how people think. Okay. I understand how the other races think. They might like you. Every type of man out there could find someone attractive, but are they going, do they like your whole group? I've dated Afro everythings, Afro Arabs, Afro Latinos, all of that. But ultimately, there were some issues, cultural issues. It doesn't matter if we're the same shade or they're of African descent. That doesn't matter. There's always some cultural issue that I don't, and I'm not going to bend. I'm not going to bend the knee to their culture. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to bend the knee.
Yeah, Wani's right. If that's a concern when you're dealing with other cultures, even within the diaspora, you're dealing with vitriol and insecurities, and being married to a FBA is another FBA is hard enough. you know, you know, without the extra, yeah, wink, wink, nod, nod. But when you're adding different religious practices, and when kids come around, you're dealing with some potential problems. But nobody's trying to judge what who you, because sometimes you can't help who you fall in love with. But what we're trying to identify is where this damn vitriol came from with respect to Ethiopia.
I think his phone rang.
Oh yeah, my phone did ring. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, my
Yes.
phone. Yeah, but yeah, and it's so funny. No, never mind. I'll tell you why it's funny in a little bit, Wani and Nikki. Uh, uh, but yeah, but what we're trying to identify today is is where did this vitriol come from, given the fact that we have helped Ethiopia? I'm gonna put in the jumbotron some more pictures of FBAs. I mean, when I was doing my research for this room, I was touched, man. I knew about Colonel John Robinson. I knew about him, but what I didn't know, I'm gonna put in the damn jumbotron. I didn't know that groups of now we're talking about 1935, ladies and gentlemen, groups of medical doctors, teachers, and you know what I'm saying, young willing black men lined up, volunteered to fight in Ethiopia. You know, and I watched the interview where one of them said he's prepared to die for die for Ethiopia. Like, man, we're fucking awesome, FBAs. We are amazing. We're self-sacrificial. We're brave as fuck. We're qualified, and we're willing to die for people who I can't see evidence of them doing. What I'm trying to find is evidence that they've given us reciprocity. That's why
No,
I'm here right now.
they have not. And not only that, they don't even have a humanitarian type of mindset or spirit, and they're not doing that with each other. They're stabbing each other in the back. That's, part of the problems that they have over on the continent.
Right. Uh, Go ahead, Ezra.
Now, what I'm about to say might sound biased, but let me tell you, I lived in Africa for 7 years, and I'm just now learning the true nature of Ethiopians. Let me tell you, those people are nice people, but the dark side of them people is that they're stubborn and they're very prideful. So
Spill the
I'd be
beans.
wondering,
Spill it. Come on now.
sometimes the way they feel about us, it could be more than one reason. One of the reasons is, like you say, they don't get along with each other, man. They hate each other. If you think that they talk bad about us, go into an Ethiopian forum one day and act like you're a different tribe, and you go into a room full of Amahar. You go into a room for whatever tribes they are. They're broken up, man. The Ethiopia, the nation state, ideally, yeah, that's what they, on paper. But the reality is, a war just ended. They're still fighting to this day. That's one of the reasons why I had to leave. A freaking genocidal, deadly war broke out. 1 million Ethiopians died in like 1 year. These people are ripping each other apart, right? I had to get out of there. I had to get saved out of that country, man. My wife got her citizenship really fast because of that. Basically, how could you think that you can get along with people who don't get along with each other? No matter what they do, they don't have the concept of understanding like black and native, black like FBA do.
Well, hold on, Ezra. I'm gonna let you land your plane, but I gotta interject right here. I'm glad you said that. Let's go back to my experience at Howard University, kicking it with my homeboys, my engineer friends from Lockheed Martin, and we were just spitting some game and some girls from Ethiopia. Like you said, they got civil wars and all kind of shit. They don't get along with each other over there, right? Okay, I can accept that. So, given that fact, why the fuck they come over here and turn on us? Why would those girls turn on my homeboy, an engineer making 190, damn near 20 years
Why is
ago?
that turning on them? They just don't want to date them. That's not turning on them per
But
se.
I'm just saying, why would she
Well,
thumb her
why are they
nose at?
begging? Why are they begging for dates? Why don't they go on somewhere?
That's a good point, but I'm making a point. Why? And
Damn.
What
that's
three
one.
reasons?
Sounds like a bunch
It's
of
three reasons.
suckers.
It's three reasons, to my opinion. One reason is the ones who come here are vetted by the U.S. embassies. In order to come to the United States, you literally got to sit down and have a meeting. It's a very thorough process to come to the United States. And these people
Stop
who
right there, Ezra. I'm glad you said that. Y'all remember 6 months ago when we had this same conversation about West Africa, and I was telling y'all that they vet the fuck out of every Ghanaian that comes over here, like, and the riders don't get over here. I've said this before. Thank you for saying that, Ezra, because I felt like I was crazy for 6 months. Keep going.
So that's one reason. A second reason is, to my opinion, is people, they think that they want to they want to be a part of the winning team. So that if they think white supremacy is winning, they're not us. We are genuinely good people. Martin Luther King, our heroes, was good writers, man. But people are not like us. That's what we failing to understand. I didn't understand why people can't get along, but I realized they're not us. The way they view the world, the way they see things and feel things, interpret things is completely backwards from us, so much so that they're closer to white people than us. That's the second reason. And then the third reason is I think that they have, some of them are prideful. Like they feel like they have a better culture because they come from a culture. They believe they come from a culture that's full of different foods and varieties and stuff, and they have a lack of understanding and wisdom about our culture. They assume that we don't have a culture. They assume that we're just some bottom feeders, but really we're the ones who build the nation. We're the ones, the innovators. And when they get in contact with people like us, FBA, then they become very humble, you know. But before that, they might just go along with the flow. Your typical Ethiopian living in the United States gives not a flat about the FBA movement, Martin Luther King. The only thing they care about is their comfort. Okay, so that's what I learned, and they don't care about what we going through. They don't even care about their native countries back home. Once they get to the United States, they feel like they reach a safety
Well,
zone. But
Ezra,
me, I
hold
care.
that thought. I'm gonna let you
Huh?
land your plane, but I see some Ethiopian letters in a castle throwing throwing some
Yeah,
thumbs
they're
down.
are they
I
Yeah,
don't know.
I brought them up on purpose. I brought them up on
are
purpose, so
they
don't get mad
now
at me. Go
I
ahead.
No,
just
you
was
good. No, I want to hear what he got to say. I don't know
I
how to pronounce that in
I
Ethiopian, so I'm gonna
I
go ahead,
just
Wani.
wanted to say
Go ahead,
something
one.
real quick. I was looking up the Afar people in Ethiopia, and 97% of them have female genital mutilation. Now, I'll look up the other groups later, but begging to get ripped up crotch from random women, that's not cool. If they
Yeah,
don't want to
I gotta
date
holler at
you,
my boy about that.
yeah, if they don't want to date you, leave that slop alone.
Oh Lord. Um,
Uh, can can
Go
I make a
ahead.
quick point? Yeah, hi everybody. Nice to see you.
Well,
I've
hold
never.
on. First off, how do you pronounce what that writing say?
Oh, it means Schriftal. It means the ungovernable. That's the crude definition.
And
A quick.
are you Ethiopian?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, go
I am
ahead.
Ethiopian by birth. I came to the United States 2007, and I design airplanes. Nice to see you around here. There is a little bit of spirit I'm reading here. Um, There is a division. I don't like my people get divided, whether you're in the US, Africa, it doesn't matter. My ancestors, I could say, near and far, worked hard to free Africans, black people out of, white influence. I could call Haile Selassie recently in Menelik in the 400
How did
year
he free
history.
black people? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
We freed
I'm gonna
you.
be I'm
We
gonna be
flew,
quiet when the
hold
queen
up.
is talking.
Shh,
Yeah,
shh.
please,
Our
yeah.
men flew over to free your men. What are you talking about? And founded your airlines.
That is true.
Okay, so how did you free
Mr.
anybody?
Robinson is one of the people who
That's right.
inspired.
So if
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Robinson went out of his way with our
that was his way
Tuskegee
actually.
Tuskegee Airmen, why on earth would Ethiopians immigrate over here and disrespect our people? Why would your
I don't
prime mi-
disrespect nobody.
Yeah, you
I,
did. Yeah, you
I
did.
do. I don't. I don't.
Your people do collectively.
It is sad. I
Yeah,
no.
what
I
are you
don't
going to
have
do
any
about it?
statistics.
Do you have any because the prime minister over there made some disparaging remarks about
I want his head cut off. That prime
uh-huh, me
minister.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
need some
So
Fulani
we're
herdsmen to go over there and do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
It's a
my
little
boys are
far
fighting.
away. It's a little
My
far
boys
away.
are up against him. I don't think I think we're making things out of the
Excuse me.
proportion that they are
Hold on,
not.
hold on, hold on. You may think that disrespecting Martin Luther King while trying to suck off of the titty of Martin Luther King's memory and
How are
disrespecting him at
we?
the same time.
How am
Stop
I
saying I.
disrespecting?
Stop saying I. I'm talking about your group. Stop being obtuse.
I don't represent them.
Well, then, what are you talking about? We don't want to just talk to you.
Okay,
He came up here representing his group, though.
Yeah. So your group
I
is
Yeah,
represent
yeah,
your
me.
it
group
was
is in the
implied.
title, and we're going to talk about your group, and you're going to stop saying I, like an imbecile.
Yes, in that regard, I represent me. If you don't want me to represent me, then there is no point me talking here. I have no representation from anybody. I represent my conscience. Can I represent my conscience here? Yeah, thank you. Yes. So my ancestors worked hard to put a cap, a limit on colonization. We succeeded. 32 plus countries adopted our flags in different forms and shapes. Our emperor flew to Jamaica, inspired a whole.
Hold on, brother. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I don't want this to go down a diatribe that's off our topic.
Yeah.
That let's deal with the question. Can you please educate? And I'm not being facetious. I want to be educated. I'm a lifelong learner. Could you tell me? We told you in 1935, Colonel John C. Robinson, not Mister Colonel. John C. Robinson helped build the Ethiopian Air Force and Airlines. Big, it's a big deal. Could you give us an could you educate me? Teach me like a fifth grader. How did Ethiopia help foundational Black Americans? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I don't know what the emperor did when he met Kennedy back in the end of 60s. I do not know. Back then, when the Black movement in the US is at this peak, we were fighting our own demons. The communists, invading the student movement, etc. The whole place was a turmoil. I don't think that anybody who is in the intellectual class was thinking big fraternal relationship with a
Okay, okay,
broader.
stop right there. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, y'all hear me and hear me fucking clear. I can't accept that because in 1935, while Colonel Robinson was spending time with his airmen teaching Ethiopia how to fly, we were dealing with the Great Migration and being hung from fucking trees. So somehow we found time to help y'all when we're getting our genitals cut off and being hung from trees. So why couldn't you
I
find
think they
time
was
to
the
do that for us?
ancestors saving him from the bullshit he was about to say.
Because they're
Okay,
losers.
did we
They're
did
non-humanitarian losers, and they can't help themselves. They're
well,
cowards.
I don't understand
They're
where this is
cowards,
coming
and they
from.
don't even
Did we?
identify
So are
as
you
black, but they
saying?
want to talk
Uh,
about Martin Luther King.
are you saying we did not help
Yeah,
half of Africa liberate itself from
you're not
colonization?
in Africa.
No,
We
this is
don't know what you
America.
did.
No, I'm. Oh, are you asking me 10 years what my life has been look like? I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, sir, no, sir.
I'm not talking about
I asked you a
you.
specific question. Where did you help Black Americans? That's what I asked. It's in the title. FBA stands for Foundational Black American. Where and I'm not being facetious. I really want to be educated. I'm hoping that you're going to give me an instance where y'all went out your way to help us. What we've established is in 1935, right at the fucking height of the Great Migration, when we were getting lynched so bad that we were going to other states looking for work. We found time to help you build a fucking air force when planes were new, for Christ's sake. So I
Yeah.
just want to hear of a time when y'all went out your way to help us. That's all I want to
Oh,
hear.
we're
Yeah.
busy addressing an
Okay.
immediate
Now,
threat.
okay, so you didn't
Do you
help us.
understand? Do you
Yeah, yeah, I
understand that
understand you're cowards, but check this out.
the amount of weight that we have?
Okay, stop. Now, you said you helped other African countries. What were those? Because you didn't help us. We already know you're losers.
That could well be. Is it because we don't want?
I said you didn't help us. Next subject. Get to the next subject. Which African country did you help?
Oh, oh, we trained Mandela. Mandela trained how to shoot in Ethiopia.
He didn't shoot anybody, though. We broke apartheid's neck. So again, we did that as well. We marched in the streets, we petitioned, we forced the Congressional Black Caucus to make all kinds of pressure. This country didn't want to do that, right? You didn't do anything.
Oh,
Again,
we trained
no,
a
you
whole
did,
army
but
for
they
him.
didn't do anything though. When did they shoot a bunch of white supremacists over there?
Oh, a lot of times.
Okay,
I don't.
whatever. They went to war with South Africans.
Okay, I'm just starting from South Africa.
Why don't you stop?
We trained half of Africa to free
Yeah,
itself, and they
okay. But
adopted
they didn't do it.
30 of them adopted our flags.
They didn't
And that
do.
is the
Oh no, you
reality.
force your flag down their throats. That's your claim to
Oh,
fame. Take our
is
flag.
it a reality
You
space? Are you
are
in reality
pathetic.
space?
Do you hear this? Do you hear
I hear
this?
it.
We made everybody use the colors of our flags. Are you on
So
crack?
we forced them. We
Are you on
traveled
crack? Is it
6,000.
Ethiopian crack that you're on?
I wish I am.
Oh my
The
God.
crack
What
is
did
not
you
as big
do?
as high.
What did you do for anybody besides your dumb ass? And you didn't do anything for yourself. So I know you didn't
We
do anything.
freed half of
Oh,
Africa.
you
We're
really?
not. I'm not taking the credit
Freed?
here. It's
Who
just I'm
did you
stating the
free?
Is
facts.
half of Africa free?
Who did you free?
There are no white people governing the
There's
nations.
no white people
Excuse
now.
me.
Okay, fine. That's crazy, but okay. You freed half of Africa.
We
What?
helped them.
Did we miss something in
Yeah,
history?
how
Did
is
we
half of
miss
Africa
something?
free? How is half of Africa free when they don't have control over any of their
Oh
resources?
my God.
That's a good, very good
Define
question.
define
That
free.
is,
Define free.
Yeah.
there is political
They
freedom.
got a flag. They
There is
got a
economic
flag, and
freedom.
they got a
That's
corrupt leader.
psychological
Okay.
freedom. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
They got a flag and a corrupt leader. Okay, that's great.
Wow.
Any
Are they so the fact that they are free from European colonization doesn't count
uh,
nothing for you?
I thought you guys
I
were
just
always
left West Africa. West Africa is colonized by Europeans in 2024.
I
Like,
thought
what are
they
you
were
talking
always
about?
complaining about European influence, but according
So
to
I would.
you,
Do you want to send a leader out of England to Nigeria? That would solve it, and we should never have done that. We should never have helped them free themselves.
now they're over
I don't
there
understand the.
all up in the UK trying to suck off of the Queen's tits and she's dead.
Oh, you're talking about Canada and Australia?
I've learned something, Black Americans. I've learned something in this exchange. I really, and honest, was happy to see the gentleman. He sounds educated, and he really he his answer to the second part of our title is was in the negative. Did Ethiopians help FBAs? Basically, I'm paraphrasing the gentleman, but what he basically said is no, because we were busy with our own problems. And that really kind of I'm not mad at him. This isn't personal. I'm mad at the situation because I think he's telling the truth. What pissed me off is we are constantly fighting other people. We somehow find time and power and energy and resource and spirit to fight other people's battles when we have been in a constant war for the last 400 motherfucking years. And let me
And
tell you
not
what.
only,
Go ahead, Wani.
I was just going to say, and not only that, not only do we put skin in the game, but we're the only ones that try to big up these people's lame cultures and their lame histories and try to make them look good when they're really just a bunch of slave sellers and sellouts all across the continent. They don't have anything to show for themselves.
I le-
Excuse me.
I learned something,
Uh,
ladies and gentlemen, and I'll let you land your plane, my friend. But what I learned, and Black Americans hear me very well, I learned that we're very powerful. And I have a question for you. What will happen if tomorrow we said fuck helping all these other groups and we turn inward and start helping each other? How far will that get us? It's just a question.
Far.
Just a question.
Mm.
Go.
Is he gonna
okay.
land his plane on the airport that we built?
Yeah, he gonna learn. He gonna land his plane that Colonel Robinson taught his ass how to fly. Can you land your plane, sir?
Go ahead,
By the
loser.
way, you have no idea how much respect I have for my FBA Black American. I don't know how you call it. It don't this
That's not
disenfranchisement
what you were
is
saying when you first
completely
walked in here.
ridiculous.
That's not
Um,
when you first walked in here. Didn't you say that we were trying to be divisive? Didn't you say
I
that?
recall hearing that.
no, I didn't accuse you like that. I just said I
You were
sensed the
speaking for your
spirit of.
group, and you were saying you were speaking as
I
if we
was
were trying to be
never
divisive.
speak.
Now you have all this respect. I wonder what made you change your tune.
My
No, I did not
violence.
change. Okay. Can I talk? Yeah, thank you. What I would say is I don't condone any sense of disenfranchisement among any black created human being. That has created a lot of damage through history. I don't appreciate that. Yes, there are a lot of problems post colonization, getting out of colonization that consumed the resources of Africa from looking across the ocean and helping out. That's a fact. Yeah, guilty, I guess, but we had a lot of problems. We got the white people from Europe up our necks, and we're trying to, strangle the snake out of our, throat. So that keeps you busy. That's a very busy task. We've been training each other, from South Africa to East West Africa to, to fight colonization. And when we succeeded, and we meet up again. I'm not diminishing the task, the outreach. By the way, Colonel Robertson has a statue in
His
Ethiopian
cup and
Airlines.
string is ringing.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
I
That's. I'm just stating as out as I
well,
will
before
never.
you leave, my friend, I do have a question for you. Certain Ethiopians have a certain phenotype. They're light skinned and the society
No,
kind of considers them beautiful. Well, I'm after reading Dr. Chancellor Williams' essay on Ethiopia. Dr. Chancellor Williams says uh, the white Asians. He basically says that Ethiopians were mulattoes. He says, "quote The white Asians were generally proud of their sons by black women, Ethiopian women, but these black." Mothers remained slaves while their mulatto sons and daughters were born free, moreover classified as white. As such, they formed a social class while never recognized as equal with the real whites, had just about all other privileges of free men. This is 4000 BC. So Dr. Chancellor Williams is saying that a lot of the Ethiopians that look light skinned were actually mixed with Caucasian. Is that true? Is it true that the Ethiopian?
No, sir. No, sir. Any mixing that came that I understand. I studied engineering. I'm not into genetics, but all the mixing that came, either it is from Yemen or from the Arabia or from the Jew, DNA. There has never been a Neanderthal DNA. I tested my DNA. I have none from Europe. Zero. No, no.
Well, he says Dr. Chancellor Williams says the white Asians. I'm not really sure what he means by that.
It doesn't mean
Arabs,
nothing.
Arabs.
So okay,
Probably, likely,
so do
yes.
y'all have is Arab DNA floating around? Is that what we're looking
Yes,
at?
there, yeah, plenty from all over. Bantu, Arab, Egyptian, Yemeni, Sudanese. It's a brawl.
Oh, interesting. All right. Do you have anything else further you want to land on something?
No, just love for all
All
of
right.
you indiscriminately.
Well, brother, I'm a counter on that. I'm gonna say in Medu Neter, which is the Egyptian, what the white man calls hieroglyphics, the symbol for love is a hoe, like a garden tool, and the implication behind that is the Egyptians who built the greatest civilization in history said love is work. So I'm gonna remind you to talk to your brothers and sisters from Ethiopia to remind them about 1935 and remind them that Colonel Watt Robinson et al. It means and associates put a lot of work in to help y'all get on your feet. And if you want to love Black Americans, y'all got to put in a little work. We waiting on it. I
Oh my
give you,
God, yeah.
I give you the
I
ticket.
don't
You can
need
clock it in
any.
when you want to, man.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
I take it to
say,
her. Sorry, sorry, Quinn.
I just wanted to say they're not light skinned. They're a
I'm
lot,
not light
a
skinned.
lot of them are
I'm
chocolate.
like you, Professor. I'm darker than you.
They're chocolate brown and browns.
Thank you so much. Melting brown.
And there's nothing wrong with that. They're very,
Yes,
they
madam.
can be very handsome. Some of them have light bulb heads, though. That's just a side remark that I needed to
Yeah, we
make.
got a TV
I
foreheads.
had to, I had
Yeah, that's
to,
fine.
I had to roast you a little bit.
And for the record, my light skin came from rape on this fields of Aniana, so it was not consensual. My
When
grandmama didn't have a choice.
when I'm looking at their DNA profiles, one thing, and this is what we're dealing with as well. It doesn't say Arab on there at all.
Hmm.
You know why?
Why's that?
Too far back. It
Interesting.
says it doesn't show up like that. It's in there. Oh, we know it's in there, but it doesn't show up like that. It's showing the last few hundred years. And this lady, she is a kind of a lighter skinned Ethiopian woman. It says 98.7% sub-Saharan African. It says Ethiopian and Eritrean. Somali 8%. Congolese, Southern East Africa, 0.4%, Angola. So this looks pretty basic for them. That Arab doesn't show up because it's not recent.
Interesting. Well, Wanda, let me clarify why I was wanting to know this. I had a little theory because Ethiopia, as Dr. Chancellor Williams points out, is very old. As a matter of fact, Dr. Williams says Ethiopia is older than Egypt. That's fucking old. And I was wondering, um, was there a link between the Ethiopians and the Khoisan? Because the Khoisan are kind of like your color, you know?
No, they
I
could.
guess
I
I could have
mean,
asked you
there's
that.
always a link because if you have Khoisan people and they're so old, we're talking about tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. Did they have something to do with people in the region? Yeah, but not recently. But
Hmm.
it's not going to show up like that. But no, they don't look like them at all.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if they were
Were
a.
these girls at the school that you guys were drooling over and unable to capture? Were
I
they
wasn't
light
trying to talk.
skinned?
Man, I had a lady. I
I'm
wasn't
just
trying
asking. Were they
to.
light skinned to give you the impression that they were a light skinned group of people?
Actually, no, they were about a little darker than you want. One of them was finer than a motherfucker. I'll describe her. She was dark, a little bit darker than you, Wani, and she had like a curly afro, and she had her eyes were like green as emeralds. Like they looked like they were just different looking, but they were beautiful. They just was
Well,
fine as hell. So
that was not typical of their look.
The green eye is not typical.
yeah, she had some. They were fire green,
They
and
have
and
a range of
They might, they
colors.
might have something in it.
and the girl that my homeboy was trying to talk to kind of looked like a real young version of I mean, she looked better than Iman to me, but she kind of like to have that look. She was the dark
Hmm.
chocolate hair down to her ass. Just had a real nice body. Like they were beautiful. They were fine as hell now.
Yeah,
Black is beautiful.
they have a range of colors.
The black, you've had your hand up for a minute. What's on your mind, man?
Okay, let me put some Johnson Johnson on it. How
It's
everybody doing?
muffled.
Yeah, you muffled, man. You got an earpiece
Can can
in?
can, can you hear me?
That's better.
Okay, I put some Johnson Johnson on my fingers. Okay, how everybody doing?
What's going on, bro?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. Um, I put in the jumbotron some old videos when we used to have some educational type of things on regular TV, and they were showing us these same students that we used to bring in America all the time. It's funny that we don't have that no more, cause we stopped liking going to their countries and stuff, finding out they was lying. But anyway, it's funny to me to see that my Ethiopian friend come up here and kind of like don't want to claim that they been delineated long time ago. They been saying they wasn't like us, they didn't care about us, and they was worried about their own affairs, like you said earlier, which was unfortunate. Even though we taught them how to fight like a big brother supposed to, uh, and they used them skills to take over the neighborhood. And as the brother said, he helped Africa get uncolonized, even though it's still kind of colonized. I don't know how that work either. Uh, but it's just funny how we do keep this open arms of, hey, you can come over here and will teach you, help you, save you, and we'll go to your hometown, help you and everything. So it's like I don't know if it's the light bulb heads where it's just filled with air or something, or they don't understand what is reciprocation or giving back hospitality. But yeah, it just goes to show that we have been tricked and duped over the years, and we just need to think by ourselves and keep it in
It's time.
house.
It's time. It's time for us to focus on
Yeah,
us.
it may sound rude or what he said divisive, but it's time to be a little selfish and just think about ourselves and just circle the wagons like the old cowboys used to say and protect our own people because we see they come over here take advantage of being classified like us, but when it's time to actually be us, they they quick to say no, they're Ethiopian or anything else, Somali, even though all them big head like bub cousins, like we helped them
Hmm.
liberate their country, and they split up anyway. So it's just funny to me just to see that. And another thing, I was watching one of the reruns about the when some of them had returned to Israel. Uh, was it before the the first Italian Ethiopian war? Was it all that like even each parts of Egypt and Israel part of Ethiopia?
No, sir.
No,
Then why some of them return to Israel?
because they're Jewish.
But wouldn't that mean like oh well I know some of them was deported
Falasha,
from
right?
Israel and sent to
The
Ethiopia.
Falange is
So
no,
They
the
went over
Falange is
there and they got sterilized and, of course, complained but didn't leave because nothing can make these people that immigrate leave, even having their insides torn apart.
I
Mm.
didn't catch that. What are you talking about?
so they got kicked out of Israel and sent to Ethiopia. They got sent up the trail.
No, that's a long story for another day.
I mean, you can make a
But
quick
the
synopsis.
Now, I just wanted to say that I looked it up and it's 65% of Ethiopian women have female genital mutilation. And also, that implies they have deep ties to Egypt because that's where it's coming from. Egyptians, for some reason, want to cut everybody's vagina off. Who knows why? I don't. I
Mm-mm.
can't figure it out why
Mm.
that's a practice. It doesn't make any sense. And they're plagued with it because of their
And,
close connections to that country or region.
and why don't they ever have a rebuttal?
You can't.
Every time I hear you or someone else talking about the female genitalia mutilation, they never really say anything. They never respond. They never say anything.
Yeah,
Why
big
is
as
that?
them heads, they should think of something.
yeah, that's something that needs to be addressed. But I think I've been hearing this theme that we help them, they forgot us, they help them. I think there is an expanded view of self-importance, and it is just
Hold on. But
preposterous.
hold on a second. I just wanted to add that Mark, Malcolm X also said that when he tried to deal with Africans, and he reached out as well to help, and their attitude was, and well, they strictly said, we don't have time to deal with the Afro American problem because they said it right at the time when we were being called Afro Americans. Now, I don't know what the Ethiopian guy's name is, Irjeet, but whatever. You're saying that we have some sort of main character syndrome or we're expecting you to do something for
Oh, I
us
want to hear this. I want to hear this.
because you literally got something from us. You got something.
Can you enumerate
Please.
what I got from you?
You got a goddamn pilot's
What
license,
the
sir.
hell? We fought off your
Okay.
first of all, let me set a picture better because I don't think you understand. Our people, just like with apartheid, marched in the streets against the country's will, against our country's will and our best wishes. We fought Italians in the streets
Preach.
of Chicago, New York, and any other city where Italians thought they were going to argue and fuss over our interest in protecting Ethiopia. Then the Tuskegee Airmen flew over there, helped you
Preach.
with what you needed help with, and helped you found an airport and taught your people how to fly. So that's the fuck what we did. Don't ask us what
Yes.
we did. But
Okay,
you
that
have
must have
done
been
nothing. at all. And you know what? You could do something. We've had problems over here with the police. We've had problems with white people being abusive. Have you ever used your UN seat to advocate for us? Never.
Yeah.
Nope.
Never,
Yes.
because you're worthless.
Yes.
You're worthless to us. You don't
Yes.
count as
Yeah.
human beings to
Uh,
me. You don't count as
th- that
humanitarians
is
to me at
sad.
all.
That is sad.
I don't view you as anything.
It is
Nothing.
sad.
I don't care
Okay.
what
Is
scenes I
that? I
see
think you.
coming from Ethiopia. I don't care anymore. I used to
Okay, that's
care,
fine.
but
I
I
think
don't
you.
care anymore because all of these people suck up resources and it would be okay. You know what? I just want to say this. It would have
I.
been fine for you to suck the resources and not
I
do
don't. I
anything.
don't
But
suck resources. I pay
hold.
taxes.
Yes, you do. It would have been fine for these leechy, parasitic groups to suck resources, but they didn't stop there. That's the problem. They didn't just stop at sucking the resources. Here's what they did. This is where they turned me into a beast on them. They came over here and they disrespect us in our country. They
Facts.
come over here and form a little Ethiopia and try to have a some kind of party about Martin Luther King and then show him in a very nasty, disrespectful light. I will
While
tear
attending
your asses apart. I
while
will
attending a
tear your
historically
asses
black
apart.
college that was created for us.
That's right. And sucking on all the scholarships with our heroes' names on them. I will tear you apart until you get some get right. I will continue to rip you to shreds until I'm satisfied. I'm not going to stop until your leaders, not you, because you're nothing. Your people are nothing. I
Yeah,
want
we're
your
absolutely
leaders
nothing.
on their knees. I want your leaders on their knees because you spend all of your times showing us pictures of you being abused by Libyans and some Arabs caught your women. I don't care.
I'm
I
just.
don't care
I am
who
busy
caught your
being.
women. I
By the
don't
way, I
care
am
if you were
busy
put
being
into
successful.
slavery. I
I'm
don't,
busy being successful.
okay, well, see, you
Here
don't
goes
care.
here go
You
here
don't
goes
care.
here goes.
You don't care.
He's a doctor or
Okay,
engineer or
hold
something.
up. You don't
Here you
care
go.
about your women being held in slavery, and neither do I.
Slavery is abandoned in 1856 by King Tewodros the First.
Sir, your
Sir,
women are
slavery is
being
going on
beat.
in Eritrea right now as we
They're
speak.
snatching your
Uh,
hoes
uh,
up and putting them into slavery
I'm
in
speaking for
Libya.
Ethiopia.
Your women are being snatched up and put into slavery, so don't
Are
try
you
to get
celebrating
haughty.
that,
Don't
or
try to
are you?
get haughty over here, because your hoes are being drug into slavery.
I
Don't
think you
ever,
electing to be
don't
angry.
ever try to get an attitude here. You're currently in
You're
slavery
giving me
now.
one.
You're currently in slavery now, and your big head is not a doctor. And nobody cares what you are. And you're getting boring and you need to go. Who's next?
I think that's really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Can y'all somebody take a note? The gentleman said we got main character syndrome, and that's what I'm saying. Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. I think
So he
the
got a
And we
waterhead.
won't be the main character saving your raggedy ass ever again.
With your waterhead ass.
If I ever see a black
Keep your
American
forehead,
trying to
if I
help
may
you,
add.
if I ever see a black American trying to help you, I will rip them a new one.
Yo, man. Um, like, what is your problem with
Where are you
Ethiopians,
from?
man? I'm from Ethiopia, man.
Oh,
Damn,
that's nice.
another big head nigga.
Thank you, man. Um, yeah, like, what's your problem with them, man? Do you feel like they disrespected
What
you
did
or
I
did something like that?
say?
You said they come here and suck. That's not true, guys. Like,
Look,
uh,
I
what do you
just
mean suck
told you.
results?
Why do I have to keep repeating myself? Listen once and
I
listen
just came
good.
in.
Good. Now listen to this. One of your raggedy ass people has a restaurant in a black neighborhood, and they wanted to celebrate Martin Luther King Day, which has nothing to do with you at all, because you don't have any heroes. You have
That's pure
nothing.
ignorance. Pure
Then,
Yo,
on
ignorance.
top
yo,
of
let us
that,
speak. Let us speak, man.
on
Shut up.
top of that, they portrayed him having sex with Rosa Parks because that's the kind of filthy people you are. So you can have the oldest Bible in the world, but you must be reading it upside down because you're a disrespectful animals who shouldn't be allowed in
How do
civilization.
you elect to be miserable?
Yo, just let us speak, man. You
Now
sound like a
that's
nerd
my
right now.
problem. And then when we called them out on it, called them out, I don't see what's funny. When we called them out on their ignorant, savage behavior, they had the nerve to say, "Oh, we don't know any. We don't know. How do you not know someone made a flyer for your raggedy, dumpy restaurant, your unhygienic dump that you put in our neighborhood to try to get us to buy your slop? We don't eat slop." And that's what you got, spongy bread and slop. Different flavor slops, though. I'll give you that.
I got I got a
Damn,
question
man.
for
Yo,
CEO.
Now,
CEO, are you
another.
you Ethiopian?
Yeah,
I
bro.
got a question. So
I'm.
let's stick to the topic right quick. We
Yes, sir.
established that in 1935, foundational Black Americans signed up in droves, and I'm not talking
Yeah.
about kids. I'm talking about physicians, pilots, established
Damn.
professionals signed up to help y'all fight the Italians in 1935. Let me add to that. While we were in the middle of the Great Migration, while we were getting decimated, we still found the time to help y'all. So could you please educate me with dates, time, and a little bit of scholarship to prove that Ethiopians helped FBAs at any point in time, or should I just ask, did was there a time where Ethiopians helped Foundation Black Americans?
Probably not,
Oh
man.
wow,
And,
thank you.
and there's no like obligation that anyone should help anyone. That's and
So
we
we so
thank.
so we shouldn't have helped you. That's what you're telling me. Black
Well,
Americans, listen. Put your
it
listening ears
doesn't
on.
matter if.
So we
Yo,
want to be paid in kind. We
yo,
helped other blacks. Does that count?
let me speak, man. Let me
no.
speak. Yeah, let me speak, man. Yeah, there's no obligation on this earth for anyone to help anyone.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Life is tough, man, and yeah,
Life is
like we
tough. I
thank
love it.
we thank
Tell me more.
we we thank whatever happened in 1945. That's cool.
35.
Um, 1935, yeah, that's cool, and
35.
But here's
huh?
the issue.
Yeah,
I
that's what I said.
don't mind.
1935.
I don't mind us being imbeciles and helping them. But what I do mind is for them to bring their raggedy, ugly asses over here, open up restaurants to
I thought the women are beautiful.
try to get us,
Yo, let us speak.
only some of them, try to get us to cater to them while they disparage our leaders and while your leader, that prime
I've got a
minister,
question.
had the nerve to say something about us. If it
I've got a
wasn't for
question.
us, you'd be speaking Italian. So you really need to shut up. You really need to stop
Hey,
focusing on us because you're focusing on us. We don't care about you. You're nothing. Why would we even think about nothing? You are in our country bothering us, and your prime minister made disparaging remarks about us. So you're bothering us, and you have the nerve to roll up in this room talking about why you talking about it. You ought to be glad we're not going upside your forehead.
College administrators in here, he just
Stop
said
playing
we're not obligated to do anything.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't.
write this shit down.
and stop
Yo,
playing. I'm
that's
gonna
the
tell you
truth,
right
man.
now. I
I have
don't
to
think
tell you.
you know. Listen, I don't think you know who you're playing with. We're the only motherfuckers on the planet that fight white supremacy attempts. You don't, bitch. You couldn't even defend yourself.
Preach.
Oh, for six
And
thousand
then
years we
when
did.
you, and then when you start to starving and start having problems with your neighbors, you want to ask Black Americans for help. You don't tailor that message to anyone but us. It's always in English. Hey guys, help us. Guess what? Nope. I'm under
Hold on one second.
no
Hold on one
I'm
second.
under no obligation to
I
help
want to
you,
hit them with some
remember?
scholarship because one of them, I don't know what that writing said. One of them said we fight. We basically said they fight their own battles. Dr. Chancellor Williams disagrees with you on page 61 in his essay Egypt, Ethiopia, Egypt's oldest daughter. Egypt, Ethiopia's oldest daughter. He says there were blacks. Now this is in Ethiopia. There were blacks who neither fled before the Asian advance nor submitted to enslavement. Got it? He says these also rejected amalgamation as a process of transforming the race. They stood their ground, fighting back, and were generally wiped out. So, no, sir, according to Dr. Williams, you couldn't fight. We taught you how to fight.
Yo, can I say
That's
something?
getting funny.
Yeah, yeah. Let me talk to them. So you I just want to say like I feel like you're projecting a lot on the spot. Like you just started saying a lot of things that apply to you on a larger scale. Like
We're
I feel
not projecting anything. You're bothering us.
okay. In
Stop
what sense?
talking
In what
about us.
sense?
Are you
In what sense are
retarded?
we
Are
bothering
you
you?
retarded?
That the flyer is
What
bothering.
did I just say?
A single flyer is bothering you
You
that much?
playing dumb is not going to work. I said your fucking prime minister had some words about us. Don't talk about us. You don't talk
Uh,
about the people
uh,
you're begging for Red Cross rice. Shut your mouth about Black Americans, or you're going to regret what you're doing. Because you don't have any allies on this planet. I don't think you know
But
where.
us that
I don't
used to
think you
have
know where.
us.
I don't think you know where you are, sir. You don't have any allies on this planet. And don't play with us. Because you don't want us to be an enemy of you, which I am.
Mm-mm.
can I say something? Can I
Go
speak?
ahead.
Or
Go ahead and land the plane
all right,
that
yeah.
Colonel Robert.
Just
Go
don't
ahead
mute
and
me
land the plane
halfway.
that Colonel Robinson taught you how to fly.
He's too
Okay,
retarded to engage in a conversation. What are you talking about? Why am I talking to you? You can't
okay,
even retain a thought up in your head.
all right. I just want to. What was I gonna say? Oh,
You
stop.
don't know. Goodbye.
What what I was gonna say is that
Bye.
so I can't talk. Like
You
there's no
got nothing to
conversation.
say.
Yo, you bringing the hood out of warning. Let's chill.
All
Move
right,
your
let's.
light bulb hat ass on.
I don't know what this dude name is. I don't speak Arabic, but Arabic demon with the green eyes, with the red eyes and the green wrap. What's up? What's your name, Mister Arabic Words? What's your name? I can't hear him. Do y'all hear him speaking?
Nope.
I don't know what that's. Did anybody here speak Arabic? Anyway,
They got
uh,
run through by Arabs.
I don't understand scribble light bulb.
oh shit. Avenue Blue, what's on your mind, man?
What's up, big dog?
Chilling, man.
Can
What's
y'all
up?
hear me? Yeah, man. Hey, peace, power, and reparations, man.
No, we
I'm
can't
calling in
hear
from St.
you.
Louis. Uh, man, keep y'all foot on their motherfucking neck, man. Real talk, man. Salute to you, Professor. Hey, cause I got hip to you, Omani, and Nicky the God from listening to Tariq. Really, he the reason why I even reactivated my Twitter page, so I could, check y'all out. Just real quick, just wanted to give y'all props, man. Keep y'all foot on their motherfucking neck. Salute. And also, man, y'all chemistry, man, so dope together, man. How y'all bounce off each other. Y'all should consider doing a podcast, man.
I'm thinking about it.
Real talk. And it's so informational. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, y'all coming with the receipts, man. Like, for real. And this stuff that I can pass down to my people. You know what I'm saying? My daughters and my younger cousins and, my son and my grandson and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just from listening, y'all learning. And then I can do my research. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to salute y'all real quick, man. I'm at the gig, man. And keep y'all foot on the gas.
Appreciate you, brother. I,
No
I,
doubt, no
I
doubt.
well, so Dr. Chancellor, just to add this before we have the next speaker up, Dr. Chancellor. Now, let me give you a year. We're talking about 4,000 BC in Ethiopia. The Ethiopians lost ground. The Arabs were coming in and taking their shit and kicking them out and having their way with the women, which is why their women look the way they look. Dr. Chancellor Williams says the picture was generally the same from about 4,000 BC onward. The Asians held areas in the north. Now, when he says Asians, he means the Arabs, like Wani said. Now the blacks had hard choices to make. As elsewhere on the continent, they had the choice of remaining in their homeland and being reduced to the status of servants and slaves, or if they were well to do members of the professional classes, architects, engineers, or craftsmen, they could remain and become integrated into Asian society and classified as white. So we're talking about in their homeland. They the only choice they had if they stuck around was to be slaves in their homeland, or if they had a big job, they could, call themselves white. That's what you're dealing with, Black Americans. Black Americans. What I think that happened to us is the well, you know what? I'm not going to say that in front of outsiders. I save that for a room for us. I think I'm starting to understand our problem. I think in some way we've been conditioned to feel like we're obligated to help people. But nah, man, with all the power and talent we have, it's time that we help each other. And let's see how far this fucking rocket will fly. You understand what I'm saying? Um,
I just wanted to say that when you see the word Asian in that context, it does mean people from the Arabian Peninsula area, which is part of Asia.
you know why? Do you know Dr. John Henry Clark identified? The more you say that, and the more I read it, the more I think of what Dr. John Henry Clark used to say. You remember he used to get pissed off at Middle East. He said, "Middle of what? East of
Yeah,
where?" It
right.
was
They
it was
just made
Western
that up.
Asia,
They made that up because it's political.
right? The CEO is back. Should we entertain him?
He
Hold on,
doesn't
hold on.
have any, he can't
Be-
retain knowledge. I don't know what to do. It's
Me
just like
neither.
a big balloon on his neck and it's just got a
He,
hole in it.
he didn't even let me give me a chance to speak. I mean,
You
Bro,
how
already
can I
did.
prove
Every
with
that?
time
all
I,
due respect, you keep forgetting what you're gonna say, man.
It was one instance, man, because she was talking like so much that
yeah,
you
I
know.
understand I'm alarming, but literally you just kept saying what happened. So if you have Alzheimer's or senility, get off the stage.
Yeah, cool. Let me explain to you like why I think you're projecting a lot on the spot.
I'm not
Basically,
projecting anything. I'm telling you
okay,
what
okay.
happened
You
to
just said
my
that like,
people.
CEO, hold on for a
can I
second.
not speak? Oh my gosh,
Hold
man.
on, stop
Jeez.
whining, CEO. Stop whining. CEO, we're gonna come to you. I'm gonna give you a chance to talk. But the guy with the green head wrap finally is up. Green head wrap with the Arab words. What's on your mind? I don't know how to say that. I don't speak Arabic. What's on your mind? You can speak. Yes, you. With the just raise your hand, you can speak. I don't.
Talking about me.
What's your name?
You can call me Abdul.
Abdul. Okay. What's on your mind? Number one,
oh, I thought he said hop too.
Hop Tool. Okay. So first and foremost, where are you from?
From Bangladesh.
Okay. All right. For some reason, I don't believe that. What city in Bangladesh?
So the initial claims you made regarding John Hopkins, he is incorrect. In
No, 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 no,
1929,
no, no. Hold on one second.
John
I asked you a direct
Hopkins.
question. Like, what city in Bangladesh?
from Dakar,
The car. Say how you doing in the language. What language you speak in Bangladesh?
speak Bengali.
What? Say hello. How you doing in Bengali?
Kushki Bakshki.
All right. We'll roll with it. What's on your mind?
Well, the claims you made are subjectively false. Anyone can Google it. In 1929, not 1935, the Ethiopian Air Force was made. That was 6 years before the actual war started. So the claim you guys made attributing the creation of the institution to American blacks is an objective lie. In
No, it's
1945,
not.
Ethiopian
Hey,
Airlines.
hey, imbecile! Look in the jumbotron. There's pictures in
You're a
there. So
dumbass.
you're being like a complete imbecile.
Yeah, but a picture is not a statistic. In 1929.
Look, you son of a bitch. A
Let's
picture is
just shut an
evidence.
ass up.
Well, if you go on Google and type in
I'm a
19,
professor, idiot, and I use a camera for evidence. It's called a primary goddamn source. Dummy. Next person.
What kind of professor are you, bro?
It's one that you
Anyway,
one whose class you would fail
okay, cool.
because you can't retain a thought.
To be fair, I did drop out of university,
Duh.
but
All you
yo,
say is
Stop saying
so
Stop saying
so what I want to say is on the spot, like she said,
Stop
we
saying
come
Stop it.
like we
Stop saying
I can't, man. It's part of my life. It's part of my yeah.
Wani, I'm losing
Um,
patience with this guy.
The man you retarded.
so what I want to say is on the spot, she claims that we drain resources. We ask for help from Black Americans. Black Americans that us drain resources from white Americans, man. They are the biggest
how. How?
recipients of
No, we're not. Immigrants are and white people are. So shut your fucking
what.
face again.
What are you talking about, man? Black Americans that
Shut your fucking face again, liar. Get your
Like,
lying
can I
Corey.
speak?
No, liar. Get your lying scammy ass off the stage. I'm not gonna throw you off the stage. Get the fuck off of it.
Run away.
I couldn't even explain my
Shut
point, man.
up. You don't have a
Yeah.
point. We don't take any resources from white people. We built this country from scratch. They
Preach.
took the resources from us and stole our land multiple times and ruined
Preach.
cities multiple times. And you can put your fucking conky-fied thumb down all you want. And that's why when you get fucked up, I'm going to be laughing with my popcorn like you've been doing the whole time against my group without me knowing, though, of course. So you just keep right on genociding yourselves. Goodbye.
Peace out. I think Sotar, what's on your mind, man?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry, man. I was just so entertained by you all for a minute. I got lost in the song. Hey,
It's all good.
this for Nikki and Ezra. Hey, I was gonna say, when Tariq came out with those hidden colors, I think that changed a lot of people because they actually saw the evidence of how we were lied to in high school, and then him bringing up books about with James Lowen, last my teacher. I think he made last my teacher told me, in sundown towns and Howard Zinn books, and so it changes your perspective because I'm not gonna lie to you, my some people in my family, my mom's side, they were straight up coons, and I adopted that just like I adopted fuck these drug addicts, but then guess what? I saw about crack cocaine and how it was introduced to neighborhoods and how they tried to get fucked us up with the opioid crisis, but they didn't realize niggas couldn't afford insurance the majority of times. So it backfired went to white people. And I want to say that your mentality can't change because when I was 20 years old, I sounded just like Candace Owens and Larry Elder and half of what Myron Gaines says when it comes to racial politics, and people don't get the education that goes forward with you can't talk about these mixed black children because they don't get the education. Whenever I meet these white women that have these black children, I go out of my way to talk to them, and guess what? Half of them, if I talk to 10 of them, 5 to 6 of them have looked at the hidden colors. They all tell me, hey, guess what? I know that I have a target on my back because some people call me a mud shark, and I make sure my sons and my daughters they do this Boy Scout, Girl Scout training, Martial Arts training. They look at hidden colors, etc. So I'm just saying, everyone keeps targeting these mixed race children, but they don't get the education. They don't know, and if you keep pushing them out, of course they're gonna retaliate. Of course, white supremacy is gonna use them as a weapon. And I think some of y'all aren't used to that. Some of y'all go always in the in crowd, you run call lanes, so you don't know. And I'm telling you, this is how white supremacy gets these tools to use against you. We create the monsters that we got to fight tomorrow. That's it.
Right on, right on. Appreciate your contribution. And yeah, we got a little heated there. I usually don't go in, but I'm not going to let somebody come on my stage and call my people liars and challenge our scholarship. The scholarship that I'm reading is coming from Dr. Chancellor Williams, who is professor of history at Howard University. Um, he doesn't get up to come up here on our stage. These people follow us around. Like I'm not on his stage disrespecting him. He had to find us and come try to disrespect us. I can't tolerate that. Given all we've given to all we've sacrificed for his homeland. Housing. What's on your mind? We'll do housing and then God TV, Gaudy TV. Housing. Can you hear me? Going once, going twice. We'll come back around to housing five. What's up, Gaudy TV?
Hey, what's going on, family? I just wanted to say the sister was cooking. Let her cook. She cooked. I was learning at the same time because oh, I'm trying to get my education on at the same time. Growing up in the projects and in Nook, you know what I'm saying. I call myself like a first generation project baby. So I be looking at things from like the offspring. I'm like, damn, we like the offspring of the civil rights and and the fucked up '70s. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I be listening to these immigrants, I don't really think they I don't really think they want to learn the culture.
No, they want to come over
criticize the
here. Yeah,
culture.
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, they do it very well, but it's the propaganda. It's the propaganda behind how they criticize the culture, but they never humble enough to be, they never humble enough to want to learn the history. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like the sister was giving them. Oh my god, she was cooking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm learning, but it's like they don't want to. It's like they just don't want to hear it. So and they spin us. They be spinning real good. They spin like politicians, boy. But let me start stuttering. Let me tell you this. You know what I'm saying? They don't stick to the topic. I'm like, we be wasting time. And then I be thinking too. I don't be wanting us to give them too much game, give them too much stuff to
Yeah.
like come back and like try to finesse it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So that's all.
brother, I'm glad you said that because earlier I had an epiphany when he was talking because he was talking about how I asked him the second part. I was like, "Did Ethiopia ever help us after what we did in 1935?" And he was like, "No," and then saying, we're not obligated," just dissing us. Like he said some bold shit. He said, "We're not obligated to help you," and it just dawned on me. I was like, "Oh man." And I'm not gonna even say it on here. I'm gonna have like maybe a private space to talk to us, or maybe I might just call up the family and tell them. But I realized something about us that I was gonna say, but I held it back because I was like, you know what? I don't even
I
want to share
heard you
this
too.
game with them. I didn't even want to share it with. I wasn't gonna share that game, but I did realize something about us that we need to discuss. But go ahead, Lane. You're playing God TV, and I'm
Yeah.
from the projects too, brother. I'm glad to have you here.
Well, no, Alan, Professor. I heard you on Tariq's platform, and your history is what drew me to you, your brain, and so I'm a land with just the fact that, and I be listening to Tariq too. So it's like he cooked the callers like real time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But at the same time, while I'm listening, I see like it just feels like we give them too much at like we could be giving them little bits and pieces. They be writing the shit down, and then because
Right, right.
some of the players come back and they be like you said, like some be faking trying to be FBA, and then some people, when you say he's like they could give you like two places from where they from, like Georgia, and then they might say Buckhead. Now if they say Buckhead, now you like hold up now, who your grandma? What street your
Hmm.
feet you know what I'm saying? So but at the same time, I don't want to give them that stuff because then it's like they just add it into their playbook. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
Right.
so I gotta know somebody. I got to know a nigga, grandmother, something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's but even though I was just thinking too, like do's and don'ts. I was talking to one of my family members and I was just and she said something, and I was like, man, that shit's not even. We was talking about how kids is popping pills, and in my generation, in the generation I said first generation project baby, like we always seen like the drugs on TV with white people, so we always knew stay away from the pills, stay away from the dope. We seen how they fuck with it. That ain't us. Of course, a couple got caught up, but it kind of like slid through this generation. We got the weed or whatever, a little ecstasy now, but now they going back to the pills, back to the syrup, back to the and if you can't get the pills, going to the smack like $4 a bag. Isn't it's so it's just certain things. It's do's and don'ts
Wait, did you
with
say
FBA.
syrup?
Yeah, sir. Like codeine,
Oh,
uh, like what I forgot what our uncles and aunts used
never
to
heard
call it,
that
like
too.
Lean.
the lean. Damn, syrup is like a Philly slang. That's a
Oh,
Philly
okay.
terminology for it. And we'll just call it codeine, or we'll just call yeah, like what it is, the name of it. But I just feel like it's a list of do's and don'ts that from the FBA culture that we all know that we just can't we really can't say out over this internet. They
Mm.
gonna try to write everything down. And when you said when you was gonna say that, Professor, I felt you was about to say something. You held it. I felt it because you was gonna give him some game,
Yeah, because
and you was like, nah.
I was gonna kind of beat our butt, get say Black Americans, look, we need to get our shit together and tell us what going where we going wrong. But I was like, you know what?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say that in front of
Yo,
them.
let me tell you what you're going wrong. Let me tell you.
Hold on, who the hell is this?
What the hell?
126H.
See what
Oh,
I'm
20,
saying?
exactly. So
Th-
26H, go ahead, come on up,
Mhm.
hop, like my boys say, hop in here. First,
Yeah,
but
where you're going
well, no,
wrong
no, no, no,
is
no, no,
that
no, no, no. First and foremost, we got rules here. You in my house right now. We got some rules. Identify yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Ethiopia. I'm
They
from northern
all have
Ethiopia.
high
Oh,
voices and yellow hands,
got it.
as you'll see.
Yeah,
What part of Ethiopia are you from?
the north.
Okay, so let's answer the topic for me. Did Ethiopia help foundational Black Americans, given the fact we helped in 1935? Could you identify a time when y'all helped?
We didn't need to help anyone necessarily. No one needs to help anyone. Yeah.
I love
Then why do you keep getting on your bony knees and begging for help?
it. Got it.
Stop asking for
Not
Red
not
Cross rice, ho.
not from Black
this is
Americans.
the second
That's
Shut
time.
the hell up. I don't want to hear them no more.
This is the second time, and I love it. I'm enjoying. Nikki, I'm so glad this is being recorded. This is the second or third time that they've said nobody's obligated. So, FBAs,
Then stop begging.
that's what I'm saying. Keep never forget
yo.
this. Nobody's
So let
obligated.
me tell you where you go wrong.
No, you
FBAs.
have an English
I'm gonna give
accent.
you like a different perspective.
You
Yeah.
can't, you don't have a perspective. You're a loser. And you don't have any humanitarian leanings. Why would we copy off of nothing? You have got nothing to offer. We don't need to learn how to be cowards. What could you possibly teach us? How to be a loser and a coward and take other people's resources and be a leech and a parasite? And then get out of it by saying, oh, we don't know. Well, I can't remember what you said before. Weirdo dudes.
We can teach you
Maybe
how
if
to
your
have your.
testicles dropped, you could
We can
help.
teach you how
Voice
to
all
have.
up in the air. You sound like a woman.
We can teach you how to not have European names. That's one thing. Instead of going by Alan.
You have Arab names. I really think you need to stay out of the
Oh yeah,
colonization
you can't say
conversation.
nothing about
You've been
that.
colonized, ran through, and don't even exist. Shut up and go sit down somewhere. You are not a person.
Projecting crazy, man. Anyways, let me tell you where you're going wrong. Yeah. So
You're in someone else's country. You've gone wrong. You have a British accent. You sound like a fool. Go sip tea and eat some beans on toast and shut up. Don't tell me anything.
I don't think he's in Ethiopia. I think he's
He's
in
going to be
Liverpool.
projectile vomited right out of the UK.
Talking about, hello, I'm from Ethiopia, and I want to tell you about culture.
Totally right, mate.
don't worry, I'm going back to my
Don't worry.
country
I'm
anyways.
going back to
I'm
my.
going
Yeah,
back.
you're
You
going
don't
back.
have a country. Shut
You're
up.
not
You're
going
over
back.
there
You're
hacking
not
each
going.
other to death. And good riddance.
Okay, let me tell you.
Let Darwin do his thing. If your big old foreheads told you to kill each other, let's let Darwin handle it. Go for
I
it,
sent
Darwin.
I sent him back to Liverpool so he can get some tea. James, what's on your mind, mate?
Hey, peace to the room. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Uh, by the house rules, my grandfather is from Boston. My grandmother is from Georgia, Griffin, Georgia. So, yeah, I've watched all the Hidden Colors. I can't wait to see Hidden Color 6 because tonight is the reason why the dude who just, the Ethiopians, so to say, they're the reason why we need HC6. We need it now. And, you guys taught me so much. And just even the chat, people in the chat, the speakers, they I learn from them as well because you guys bring greatness to the stage, and evil doesn't like it because the truth has been exposed. And I land.
Yeah, if I may piggyback,
Really
go
quick,
ahead. Go ahead, Nikki.
James. Give us one suggestion for a topic. for Hidden Color 6 to give to Tariq?
Well, I would have to say,
James.
I say a topic for me. I would say delineation, the, the start of delineation for us, Foundation Black America. Let's, no, no, no. Him, no. I take it back. When he gave us the name Foundation of Black Americans, and us understanding what that means, an actual black man giving us a name in this country.
It's
That's what
powerful.
I would
It's
want.
powerful. It's just like Adam in the Holy Bible naming stuff. That's power, absolute power. But one thing I wanted to kind of follow James with, James, this is one of the most successful spaces I've ever had because I started this space looking for answers and I got them. Like, the question is, did FBA help Ethiopia fight the Italians in 1935? Yes, obviously we have evidence. So I asked him, was there reciprocity? And they said more than one person said with his whole chest, no, we don't owe you anything. And that means a lot to me. That's what I wanted to hear. And I want that word to spread out through the community that, you know, blood was spilled on their behalf. And they really feel like we some damn fools or dummies or suckers for helping them. And you know what? We need to keep that in consideration next time they come back around, in my opinion.
They're always
Straight
around begging for food, big bellies, flies around their face, asking
right?
for Red Cross rice, telling us that they're killing themselves and can we help them to stop doing it. They're in a perpetual spiral and always asking for help. And no, the answer is no.
Hold on,
I,
who is Black Cred? Like Black Cred, can you stop talking?
He keeps coming. I keep muting him, and he keeps
I
coming
think
off his
he's
mic.
trying to
It sounds like
talk.
Black Med.
Um,
somebody got the microphone inside of something.
Yeah,
uh-oh,
it's Black
that
Black
sounds
Cred. Why are you
personal.
talking?
Hello? Can you hear me?
One of
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
colon cameras.
Can you come off? Can you put your mute on,
What
man?
what
Oh,
kind
my
of
fault. I ain't know.
It's all good. It's all
You
good.
don't let me come up. My fault.
there's a
No, it's all good.
are you on a headphone or something? Why does the sound so echoey and
I thought it was trolling.
underwater and yeah, what
I'm
is
trying
that
to figure out
sound?
what kind of camera Nikki was talking about. Was she talking about a colon camera?
Yep,
Oh Lord.
that was like a, colonoscopy that was happening.
FBA Trade Day, man. Come on. What you got for us? I know you got some fire for us. Come on. Educate
What's
us right
up?
quick.
I just wanted to just something real quick. What up, man?
What's up?
That was a Somali. That dude who was just talking. That wasn't Ethiopian, but
Which one?
yeah. Somalis. Anytime you hear that British accent, it's them. They yeah they got a knack for doing that because they're trying to go to war with Ethiopia. So
Go for it. I love it. Who do I cash app?
Somalis are
I'm
fucked
going to
up, but
cash app both sides. Go for it.
But but the Ethiopians though, they the ones that did that Rosa. Well, they had the venue that had that Rosa Parks thing. That disrespectful Rosa Parks.
Who?
And
Who did that?
it was a hookah bar in somewhere in North Druid Hills. Now they took the. So what they said is the person throwing the party did the flyer and they were hosting the venue or whatever. But still, they let the shit on
What's
their
their
web.
background?
Oh, they Ethiopian.
Oh, that's
Uh,
what I thought.
Kabesha, yeah, Kabesha, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
they ain't innocent, yeah. Yeah, they be on fuck shit too. But yeah, I just wanted to say that though.
And so they just attacked us out of the blue,
Right.
while trying to make money off of Martin Luther King and trying to make money off of us. No, 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 no. I thought Black Americans had street sense. Where is it?
Well, again, I know I said this earlier in the space, but we have quite a bit more people now. According to Dr. Chancellor Williams, Dr. Williams says that in early times, the basically, I'm gonna paraphrase him. Ethiopians were amalgamated by Arab invaders, and their women were raped. Dr. Williams says the Arabs, he says white Asians, but that means Arab. The Arabs generally well, proud of their sons by black women, but these black mothers remained slaves, while their mulatto sons and daughters were born free and, moreover, classified as white. As such, they formed a social class while never recognized as equal with the real whites, had just about all the other privileges of free men. So that's very important to keep in mind because that in itself explains a lot of the vitriol coming from that group. They don't identify as black, they identify as either white or Arab.
Well, why
Yeah,
were
So
they talking about Martin Luther King and trying to make money off of it?
well, I think, and this is my opinion, I'm not rooting this in any evidentiary fact, but it
No,
seems
I
like,
believe you. I posted that article that video showing that guy saying I have no Negro blood, looking more Negro than everybody in the world.
right, it's kind of thing Tariq be talking about how they try to buy the Myron Gaines thing of by proxy attacking us. Like, okay, I want approval from white daddy, so let me find a black person to attack to show that I'm worthy.
But
It's
I
disgusting.
don't know who they're showing it to though. So that's the problem. Like who's the audience
Good question.
for that restaurant? I don't know that's just something that I'm going to cure them of if I have to do it alone. I'm going to cure them of whatever that disease up in that big head is. Because I'm not going to let that restaurant go. Oh no, I'm not letting it go.
You know, Dr. Amos Wilson called the system of white supremacy mental illness. And Dr. Claude Anderson also kind of posited that. He says that the system of white supremacy puts upside down glasses on Black Americans. But the older I get and the more scholarship I read and the more I study this subject with you guys on X, the more I realize that this is some type of fucking mental illness that Amos Wilson called it. These people are mentally ill. What are they getting out of this? You're never going to get approval, like Dr. Williams
Uh-oh,
just said
they're
in the
in
book.
trouble now. They're in
But
trouble now because Yahoo News has got a hold of it, and now other people are going to get it.
oh,
It's outside of, so all those articles we posted on Newsbreak caught on. Yeah, this restaurant, I'm gonna put this restaurant on its knees.
it's
I
finished.
want you on your Ethiopian knees, and once you get there, that's why I said you're going on your knees. You went on your knees for the Arab, you went on your knees for the European. You're going on your knees for us, and you're never getting up. You're never getting off your knees once you get down there, ever, because you don't know how to act.
If you were in this room and you witnessed that, make sure you spread the word to the family that what did he say? He said we're not obligated to help you, and basically he said it in a way that was he didn't say these exact words, but he said it in a way that was almost like y'all are damn fools for helping us. That's the way I heard it.
That's right.
that's how I took it.
Right.
And we have been supposed to have street smarts, and we can't smell what's going on with these foreigners, but we smell it now.
Hmm. Who was next?
Now, why does this
You know,
idiot want to get back on the stage? Because I don't want to hear any more high pitched voices from men.
Mhm.
you know,
Unless you're going to
real quick.
sing like Earth, Wind, and Fire, which
Who
you're
the
not.
Somali?
All
Mhm.
of them. They all sound the same. They all have the same voice box.
Real quick,
They really do.
real quick. I think about like in the early '90s when we used to be trying to get a cab and shit. You know what I mean? Like we in the city, we got the green cab, we got family cab, and it used to always be a Haitian,
Bless
maybe
you.
an African, driving one of them motherfuckers. And you
And
know they used to
and
be
would drive right
disrespectful
past us.
right by us, right
My
by us. Like we
I
used to
spent
be
my
like,
summers
yo,
in bro. I spent my summers in D.C. with my grandmama, and you know I would catch the Greyhound from Alabama. I was a damn a child, really. You know, 24 hours on the bus, and I would get off at downtown DC. It used to be in the late 90s, DC used to be dangerous as hell. But you know, I'd be at that bus station by myself trying to catch a cab. I'm a fucking child. I'm like 14, you know, trying to wave down a cab, and they would just drive past me with a frown on their face. Like I'm, you know, all that vitriol.
For what though? That's the thing, because um, I it was like, oh, you doing me a favor by stopping, and then you get in the cab and he talking about some pay up like or $15 or whatever. They reaching back for the money before they even pull off. You're like, yo, nigga, I
Right.
ain't gonna rob. Granted, niggas have robbed them. I ain't gonna hold you. Niggas do be. They used to rob the cab drivers because they had the cash on them. You know what I'm saying? So it was, but that was, like, listen, man, like it's you over here. You driving late. They not. You don't know the culture. You don't know you bait. You know what I'm saying. But don't everybody's not trying to stick you up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not, a fucked up individual where you gotta drive past them or pay now. You know, nah, go on, get. I ain't gonna take your money, man. I need you right now. But they from the rip by the time when they was getting over, I guess they felt we needed them at for their little jobs that they was doing that we we welcomed them in the hood, and we see them every day. Even more, they get all the 24-hour stores around here, the late nights, um, and it's like, damn, how the hell you get this? How the hell you get this? Nobody that was, what I'm saying, like nobody from the hood couldn't get that, but they grabbing they getting all the little spots and shit in my hood. You know what I'm saying? They got the 24-hour spots, and then Bobby got the bodega. He's serving all the food and shit, all 24/7,
Look beautiful.
365.
I'm
So
drinking my cup of tea. Would you
you
like some tea?
why
Yes.
I'm doing sweet dreams though.
they
Taking it. Yes.
so,
Um.
they position themselves early to be like kind of vindictive toward us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all coming out now a little bit more that we didn't, kind of kick them out the group, kick them out the group. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
Get out the group and stay out. And by the way, get out of the country.
This, guys, this space is really, this is
Clean
fact.
this country out.
This is yeah, y'all. This has been the most fascinating. This is playing with my head. Like this is so interesting. At least three of them told us that basically we fools for helping, and we didn't ask you to help. And I'm thinking about these
They
stores.
did though.
That's so interesting. Like
That's all they do is beg. I mean, I think they're begging so much they forgot they were begging. They've been perpetual beggars for decades, hundreds of years.
I'm
No,
just,
they're begging.
I'm
They're
just
begging for
saying,
help all the
we need
time.
to. This needs to be addressed because
Street smarts is what's needed. Street smarts.
street smarts is required. But we go to school and get stupid. These professors are teaching kids to be stupid, to be altruistic.
That's
We need to have a community meeting
that's
behind this space.
that's fine.
I think so.
We
Humanitarianism.
can, but everybody don't need to come. I'm sorry, Ronnie.
That's
Go ahead.
okay. No, humanitarianism is fine. I love it. But we have to have street smarts. We can't have blind spots toward people that are attacking us and then not even saying, oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. But I'm glad this story is caught on, and the person who published it and made it a little bit bigger is herself uh, an immigrant. But they have even offended immigrants, apparently.
Mm. The black. What's on your mind?
Uh, remember I told y'all I learned I get the inspiration to find stuff and do research from weird places. Like when I first learned about Ethiopia was from the little feed the children commercials from Sally Struggles. So it's just crazy. Like not too long ago, they was the face, literally the face of them commercials. So it now they had the audacity to just come in these spaces and just be disrespectful and say, yeah, we shouldn't have helped them. So I really I don't feel bad that our elders went over there and helped them and taught them how to fight, but at the same time, look, this just shows the good heart that we have. But We learn now. Don't fuck
Yeah.
with y'all big head ass.
Hey man, I learned a lesson that I'm never gonna forget tonight. I learned that I'm a damn fool for helping them. So, what I got from the night was kind of like, sucker. You know, we need to take that energy and focus. What we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is take that energy and focus on our children because our children out here lost. They lost. They need guidance. They're abandoned at our historically black colleges. The administrators and a lot of the professors have abandoned them. They think they're stupid. They're getting in debt. Professors are letting them major in degrees that are not going to get them a job. And the degree programs that provide a living wage, like engineering, medicine, and others, are dominated by others. You know what I'm saying? We need a community meeting. We need to focus on each other. It's time to love on each other. That's what I'm learning. I'm glad that they said what they said tonight. I'm grateful for it. Anybody else want to come up and contribute? Black credit. You ready? You fixed your issue? Come on with it. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Speak on the guy though earlier. I think he was saying something about how we give them too much game and everything, and I totally disagree. I think that we learn how to sharpen our tools. We learn how to verbal battle these people, these tethers. You see, Wani is destroying tethers. So we get better. We starting to read their defenses. We starting to read their offenses. We starting to know how to do touchdowns against them, how to blitz them when they start lying. We see these tethers just be lying, and we just getting better and better on reading them now. And I think that we getting in a good place, man. We having these little battles that y'all doing. We getting in a good place reading these tethers and knowing what they're gonna say before they even say it. So we
I'm
got. I just totally disagree with the guy. I just
I'm
totally.
a
I think we
I'm a
better.
agree.
I think before we didn't see this coming. A lot of us was like, "Oh, we didn't know they people felt this way about us."
Yeah, that's
We
what
like,
I will
"Whoa,
agree
what's
with.
going on?"
I will agree with that. I do appreciate knowing how they really feel. Like,
Yes, just like you said, the boy was talking that, hey, we don't give a damn about y'all helping us. We ain't helping y'all. That's good.
right?
We need to know that. We need to know how to debate that and
Hmm.
say, hey, y'all don't give a damn about. We're not helping y'all. We should never been helping us. Us going over there helping them, that's ridiculous. We should look at it for what it was. It was ridiculous, man, going over there helping these people. When we
Right,
over here need, like you just now said, our kids need us.
right.
We got this country is about competing. We compete in America, and we bringing people over here to compete against us. No, man, these people tribal, man. We
Preach.
on game now, and I love it. And that's I'm just gonna land my helicopter on that. That's all I wanted to say.
Appreciate the black red. But in the same, I'm halfway in the middle. I see both good things from Black Cred. What Black Cred said was true, but God TV did have a point with respect that we don't need to be telling everything on. What I think God TV was trying to say is, or what he was saying is, like, we don't want to give them any strategies. I remember when I was in law school, I had this dynamite evidence professor. Thank you, baby. You can put it right there. But I had a dynamite evidence professor, and the dude said when he was a trial lawyer, he would be in trial and he didn't have a strategy. He'd be hung over. He didn't have no strategy. But he said he would take a legal pad and just start scribbling. Like he said, he'd be drawing smiley faces and hearts and shit, but he'd be scribbling like he's just scribbling something down real passionately. And he said he'd throw the other side off because they didn't know they would be worrying about what is he writing? Oh God, what does he have? We need to realize that we're in, like Vicky Dillard said, we're in a war, and deception is the key to warfare. And if you just straight up tell people, what's on your mind with respect to strategies, that's not smart. But it's a delicate balance. But Black Card, the other gentleman was right. You do want to say enough to get, what's on their mind out. This is a very interesting space, y'all.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, real quick, Professor, I rebuttal to my brother.
Go ahead, God
Um,
TV.
because yeah, no, I respect that also because what he said because it's a certain deep like when you it's like a way to articulate your defense to what they say. You know what I mean? Better. You know what I mean? If I'm getting it, if I'm saying it correctly. And I understand that too because you kind of could finesse. You could finesse it to the point where you break them down. Like the sister was hitting them with straight demolition blows, but then Professor Allen would come and hit them with some historical blows that you know what I'm saying. So he finesse it real good with the words, and then you might have some somebody to hit them with some street words, and so it's like the way you bring it to the table, but then it's like when we strategizing and like because this space is like I probably this many people we probably wouldn't want to strategize. We probably want to do that in person, meet up and sit at the round table when they talk about you know things of moving forward with the culture. But yeah, Craig, like I understand where you coming from though, because you got to give them something. You got to give them some heat. You can't just be letting them get their little shots off, acting like they doing something. And it's always just the way that they spin. They just spin. So sometimes it could be frustrating, and I think they do that on purpose. But I land there.
Well, the way economy is going, me and my students looked at the debt clock, and if y'all look at www.debtclock.org or .gov, just type debt clock in on Google. It looks like the way finances are going, we may be heading towards a world conflict. A lot of people are saying that, and should that happen, they're going to be relying on us, what I'm saying, for help. But I think we need to take the lessons that we learn in this space. And my grandmama used to say something. She said, "When people tell you who they are, believe them." And I heard it more than once. It's like the common theme. Like, you sucker, you're a sucker for helping me. You shouldn't help me. You're a sucker. You're a sucker. You're a sucker. You're a sucker. And I believe them. Like, okay, well, I learned a lot. I'm never gonna forget it. And yeah, Wani be putting that heat on 'em. They scared to death. they be they be
Hey, Professor.
they be having dreams about Wani.
I be scared when she
When
get hood. That's how I know. Yeah, she pissed off.
Go ahead, land your plane, and we'll go to Breeze on.
um,
What are you crying for?
go ahead, brother. I land there. I land there now.
Appreciate you.
Good.
Breeze, what's on your mind?
Salutations, Professor Allen.
What up,
Salute
bro?
to my wonderful sister, Nikki the God. Wani on the spot as usual. Salute to Cognitive Dissonance and my lovely sister Kwan S. I was just gonna talk to the last part. Did Ethiopia help FBAs? I would say no. When I first arrived to the DMV area after well, I went to college in Baltimore to HBCU. I attended Coppin State University. That's where I graduated from. But like I said, at the last part of that, I also got arrested and I was given kingpin charges. That's why, I was arrested in Baltimore, Maryland. They hit me with kingpin charges just because I was from New York and shit like that. And basically, I would say to that, during that time, it was like, when I was in Baltimore, that's when I started encountering like, these Ethiopian COs and stuff. And then when I got out of there, after I still graduated and, went through all the system, survived all that. But when I got to the DC area, it was the Ethiopians that was the first people telling me I was an African and that I wasn't down. So I would
Oh
say
yeah,
those people, they've never really helped us and they've always been like the ops to me. So that's all I want to say, and I'll land right there.
no cap. I had similar experiences in DC, just being dissed. You know. Anyway,
Oh, Professor.
DC is saturated with Africans now. You can't even get, you can barely get any real soul food there, man. I, I remember when I went there last time. I ain't gonna stay on this, but I got some waffles for breakfast, and they would put sugar cubes. They put sugar cubes in the waffle batter,
wow.
as if to say, "Hey, well, foundational Black Americans, they like a lot of sugar on stuff." went to a another type of restaurant and they piled salt on everything like they were supposed to pile salt on. These were some type of I didn't know what type of African they were, but they were Africans, and I feel like they were just overdoing it, trying to be like us, and they were just like over sweetening and over salting the food.
Yeah,
That's
like
all.
the niggas like sugar. It's more to that
Oh,
too.
Professor,
Yeah, who puts sugar cubes in waffle batter? Who does that?
oh
Mm-mm.
no, that sound nasty. But Professor, did we bring them jazz too? I know one is gonna chime in. Did we bring them jazz?
Yep.
Wait, who?
Ethiopia.
No, not really.
We didn't
They
bring them
don't
jazz.
play jazz.
They don't play
Who's
jazz.
in Ghana?
Cause they do be claiming they have their
None
own
of them can play.
Ethiopian jazz.
They have Ethiopia. Yeah, they would do that, wouldn't they? I know
Mm-hmm.
they have High Life, which comes from the white boys stealing jazz and telling them to play something similar on brass instruments. Um, Ethiopia, not
She
so much.
she's just being naughty. I fed her already.
I wish y'all could do a space about because out here in Northern Virginia, the Caribbeans are charging us like $33 for two beef patties.
Oh, well, you shouldn't be buying from them, so that's the problem.
Learn how to make it
Yeah,
yourself.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't buy them. I'm just saying that's what the price is going to. Like for two
they
beef
should be
patties,
put
I
out of
seen it's like
business.
$33.
So to review, because some people in the room didn't know, some Ethiopian restaurant and lounge wanted to make money off of Martin Luther King Day. And so they created a flyer. Ethiopians don't have anything to do with Martin Luther King, but okay, because they're brown, they get to exploit it like they always do, like Black History Month and Juneteenth. It always has to have those stupid colors that don't have anything to do with it. So anyway, instead of just saying, "Hey, we're making a buck off of Martin Luther King's birthday," they decided to make a disgusting poster with Martin Luther King having sex with Rosa Parks. And then when they were questioned about it, they tried to pretend like they didn't know it was happening. You're having an event at your restaurant, and you don't know what the flyer looks like? You would approve a flyer, and it was on Eventbrite. So Eventbrite had no problem showing that flyer as well. And that's why we're angry. This falls on the heels of the fact that their prime minister said some very disparaging things about us and said that we're victimizing ourselves and why aren't we like the Jews, and made some other idiotic statements. And this follows um, bad behavior from them in general, and them having amnesia about us helping them ward off being colonized. So that's why, this just seals the deal on these people. Um, I was, in all these organizations, Jack and Jill, Girl Scouts, all the little goody two shoes organizations that you can think of, I was in. And in all of those, we were told to help these people. These people were doing bad. They were hungry. They had the distended bellies. They had the flies. They had all of these problems. And we have been listening to them saying that they needed help for years and giving it to them. We have given them the help, every kind of help they need, physical help, emotional help. It means a lot just to care.
Oh wow, we are cute.
If people don't know that, it means a lot just to care that something negative is happening, to make comments about it online, to have online support. That goes a long way. And they're not going to have that from me. And they're not going to have it from any person of my lineage that saw that flyer and saw their little attitude about the flyer. Oh, that's nothing. Ha ha, it's just a joke. Yeah, it's just a joke to you because you don't have any heroes. They don't have anybody like that that's respectful. We could pull all kinds of heroes out of the bag, we make all kinds of movies about our legends. These people have one person, and nobody even knows who that is. It's one guy that has a prominent name, and he has a prominent name because of all of the more prominent names around him. Okay? So that's where they are. They don't have anything, and they want to stain what we've got. Go ahead, James.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just on Eventbrite to see if they still had it up. But yeah, shouldn't we go after Eventbrite for even allowing them to post that before
Yeah,
anything?
I messaged them, I've called them, and they're not saying anything. So hopefully this next round of articles bashing their behavior will get nudge them. I know it's a big company, maybe it takes time for them to get back, but that apology was very lame.
Right. And I'm just, yeah, I'm not for the disrespect. It's everybody want to turn up. It's time to turn up and turn in.
Well, Arthur
That's what's like.
Arthur is in the space if he wants to come up and talk about it too, because something that he wrote was added to a nationwide blog and it went viral on Instagram today. So I know that
Mhm.
he sent some letters out about this. So hopefully he'll want to come up and speak. I sent him an invite, but I know he doesn't speak much, so it's okay if he doesn't.
Yeah, he might be asleep, but he did
Yeah,
a lot of work on that.
um shout out to Arthur Watkins for all his hard work. He is always writing letters and advocating for foundational Black American freedmen. So we thank you so much, even though you're probably asleep. Thank you, Arthur.
Yes, sir. We're gonna go ahead and go with I see Welsing. Let's see what Welsing and we'll give last words.
Why
Uh,
does Wellsing keep going back into the it might be the app,
it's the app is tripping.
because
Go
I
ahead,
saw
Welsing.
her. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was having trouble coming up, but Wani, I thank you so much because I did not know the entire background. I've been dealing with all these fires and everything here in LA, people, just reaching out and stuff like that, but I did not know that it was an Ethiopian club that was promoting a party, um, and then use the images of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks in that way. That to me, that's a desecration. That's desecration on the highest level. Um, and such a disrespect. I think a letter should go to the Ethiopian embassy to the U.S. and also to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. I think that's a goddamn fucking disrespect to someone who has been discussed for the possibility of being canonized as saint. That's Martin Luther King Jr., and that's real. That is a desecration and a disgrace, and how dare, I can't believe it, that they could, even if they didn't know the deep history of Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, that these are two people that are, Martin Luther King gave his life. That man was a child prodigy. That man is one of the greatest human beings of all times. In this world, he is the greatest. That man gave his life. And that's what they do? That's what they do?
Welsing,
And
I'm
then,
glad they
and
did it
then, and
because we
then,
got
and
to see how they
then,
feel. But go ahead.
yeah, and then are flippant about it, and with a half ass apology. They should be sued, and money should be going to whatever special interest for Black Americans. A letter should go to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, and a letter should go to the embassy, the Ethiopian embassy to the U.S. This is a desecration on a man who could be considered to be canonized a saint. He gave his life for humanity. That man gave his young life to humanity, and that's what they do? I didn't know this until just now. I think it's a fucking
What
disgrace. I think it's a disgrace, and it says it all. I mean, to your point, they take Juneteenth, instead of learning the history of Juneteenth and understanding that the colors are red, white, and blue, not yellow, green, black, and red, that you don't attach trans and any other black diaspora to Juneteenth. They have nothing, their country has nothing and nothing to do, and the sexual ideology has nothing to do with Juneteenth, has nothing to do with it. And yet they would expect us to go to their country and fall into their culture and their practices and their language. Yet they have no goddamn respect, and this is the problem with them. Like, how fucking dare you do that to Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks?
They showed us how.
That's a that's a disgrace,
They showed.
and it is a desecration. You might as well have just spit on his grave.
They showed us how they really feel, and believe it or not,
I can't get over it.
well then, I'm grateful.
I'm fucked up.
I'm grateful for it.
I'm fucked up over it. I cannot believe wanting, but I'm fucked up over it. I'm fucked up. How dare they do that? How dare they?
when people come over to this country and they get their citizenship, don't they pledge or something that they are going to respect the country and respect the culture and the people of our
Well,
country?
yeah. Let me address that right quick because people, we need to put that in context. Yeah, they do, but when you denounce, your family, and you denounce, if you denounce your family to accept another family, my question is, can you be trusted? We're gonna go to Black Truth right quick, and we're gonna oh, I'm sorry, Black Truth. I didn't mean to skip over Virgil. We're gonna go to Virgil. I want to see what Virgil has to say about this, and then we'll go to Black Truth. Never mind, I can't go to Virgil. It won't let me go. Black Truth, what's on your mind?
Salute family, salute professor, salute Sister Nikki, Sister Wani. I actually wasn't planning on coming up on the stage today. You probably saw that I put the receipt in with the YouTube video for our brother Robinson, who saved the Ethiopians, helped them, taught them how to fly, and commanded the Air Force in Ethiopia. Facts that they tend to forget, and really, they've shown us tonight, like you said, that they really do not care, do not appreciate all of the things that we've done for them globally. And like you said, it should be teaching us. It should be teaching us to kind of let these other groups hold their own nuts. So
Right.
this is an ongoing campaign with the flyer that Sister Wani's been talking about. It's been an ongoing campaign. About 3 months ago, they started producing these AI photos with Sexy Red. She was posted with, let's see, she was posted with MLK. She was posted with Martin Luther King Jr. And then they posted her with Rosa Parks. And at that point, I made a post. I don't know, for some reason, it's not coming up in the Jumbotron, but I made a post because this is an ongoing campaign to desecrate, to tear down the heroes that we have in FBA society, because they realize that they do not have anyone who's equivalent to them. So when they point out their heroes, they've got to point to someone like Christopher Columbus, who's a serial killer, genocidal R word, and well, R word and so with anyone who they point to is some sick degenerate. So they want to bring our heroes down to their level.
It's so
So
packed. I can't add
they want
anybody
to
else.
put
I want to know what this son of
our
a bitch is
excuse
saying.
me.
Mute.
Who is he?
Can you mute?
Professor,
Oh,
Professor,
Okay, over there
hey.
having that nice
mute
and
up,
nasty
Right.
time.
mute up.
Okay, I was just saying, yeah, they want to tear our heroes down and bring them down to the level of a Sexy Red. They want to put Sexy Red next to Rosa Parks on a bus, showing that, hey, even though you had this hero, look at what you are now. See, you're just like us. See, so they're trying to desecrate our heroes, and they're so desperate. It's such a weak, circumstance that they're in, because they know that these legends that we have are there's no comparison between them and what they have as quote unquote heroes. So I just wanted to point that out. This flyer didn't surprise me. Is obviously it's sickening. It's a disgrace, but they this has been an ongoing thing, and I think it's orchestrated possibly from a higher point, maybe some organization, some three-letter organization may be behind some of this, because there are too many coincidences, too many things occurring that just don't, you know, just too many things occurring to not come to the conclusion that it's coming from one source or one location. But just wanted to leave that with you all. Thank you.
I do appreciate it. Could somebody drop? I'm trying to add, bring somebody up, and it won't let me.
I'll
I'll
drop.
drop.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
He's up now. I mean,
Oh,
he's
okay. Yeah, yeah.
staying.
Virgil, I'm curious. What's on your mind, Mr. Virgil? Because I notice
Um,
your things are protected. And I'm trying to figure out what you about. What's up?
yeah, this is just FBA propaganda, and simple. It's 1929 was the year that
Exactly. See, my intuition.
in 1929 it was.
I had vibes about him. I felt like, what I'm saying. I don't know. Yeah, I had all kind of vibes about that dude. I wanted him to come up so bad, and I couldn't add him. And he requested again. He wants to get up here and talk. So what I'm gonna do is block his ass. My intuition told me like this motherfucker is offish. But anyway, um, uh,
Arthur.
Professor, one
Hmm.
let's get
no,
a couple.
Professor, can I and Nikki, why can I say one thing?
You're
Yeah, go
breaking
ahead.
up a bit, though.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm still just livid off of this thing. I'm livid, but you see, they have no fear of black American people have not done enough to that these people fear doing these things. You see, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't create a poster with some rabbi and whatever. They wouldn't do that to those Jews because they know the consequences that come behind it. You see, they have not felt the wrath, the real wrath of Black American anger, yet this is where the opportunities come to punish these people for doing the most minute disrespect to the most grave disrespect to this with Martin Luther King. I just cannot wrap my head around the fact that they are bold enough to disrespect one of the world's saint. This man gave his life. This man left behind a young wife and babies. He gave his life for us. His words, this was a child prodigy. This man's quotes are some of the greatest quotes of all time in the world. He is recognized all over the world. And that this country that comes from deprivation, like Wani said, you saw images of them with the stomach out and the flies all over the damn mouth. And it was a black, let me tell you something. This is that they don't understand. The black American people, what was that? Feed the whatever, that whole organization, black people were the fuel behind that. And at the end of the day, when I think about even Nelson Mandela, if it wasn't for black American people putting the pressure on corporations not to do business with people with companies that participated in apartheid and entities that participated in apartheid, it was black American people in this country. I was a little girl. I know it. I seen it. If it wasn't for black American people in this country, Nelson Mandela would have died in jail. And here's a little tidbit. It was Donald Trump that chartered his own plane to fly Mandela out and his wife out of South Africa. That's a fact. The disrespect, look, I'm saying that you cannot allow this shit. You can't allow them to get away with this shit. They have to be punished unrelentlessly until they get enough examples to know that if you're going to open up your mouth and say something pejorative about black people or one of our black saints, that you're going to be punished, and then it's going to cost you. And you don't, and like the Jews say, never forget. You cannot forget, and don't let them forget it. You come to this country, you honor those people who gave their life for them to come to this damn country. It's a disrespect, man. Because I did not know about this. I'm like so pissed off, and I gotta shut up.
Well,
Good
we
night.
love you, Wells, and we love your support. And it pissed us off, but I'm very grateful. Unfortunately, the space is going to end. I got to go to bed, but that I'm gonna let's see. I get a couple more people to quickly land their plane.
Arthur is up here on stage,
Okay,
so if we could let Arthur speak.
go ahead, Arthur. We're gonna do Arthur and let none get a quick submission component, and then we'll close the space. But I want to say I'm very grateful um, for the for what we learned tonight. And I mean, I learned a lot of lessons tonight. So, Arthur, go ahead and make your submission.
Okay, I'm sorry that I couldn't come up earlier. I was taking care of some dishes that my wife wanted me to clean, so gotta take care of her first.
Got
Um,
it.
to on the flyer, I found out that they do this every year. It's not like something they did just this year. It's done every year, and I guess because we wasn't as tight as we are today and delineating as we are today, you know, that what happens when we really truly are not paying attention to taking care of us. We take care of everybody else, and that's when they're able to do the things they do. Um, and when I first got the flyer, I really truly, I'd never seen it before, but someone kept on saying, yeah, they do it every year, and I was like, this is not right, So
In
knowing
the
me,
same picture?
very similar. They
Really?
yeah. We just we fight so much inside of us so much that we don't see the walls being broken down around us. We just that's what happens. And this time we're more together than ever before because we're
Mhm.
delineating and we seeing everything from a different perspective. So you know, I just had the opportunity to actually address something that needed to be fixed and hopefully fixed forever. That no one actually would step on our toes ever again. I will continue doing the advocacy work and the litigant work. I'm almost pushing this going full time with this because it's a lot I'm seeing like everywhere. So it's just I'm almost 10 more years. I'm retiring from what I'm doing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it a mission for my last 10 years. Put a lot of my college education into it, all my business background into it, a lot of contract and law into it because I've done a lot of that. So I'm really going to try to build something that I can put into a trust for all the Freeman descendants. So that's where I want to leave y'all. Basically, uh, I'm building I'm sorry, Freeman Nation. Uh, Freeman Nation a will be in a trust to the Freeman descendants, and it's going to be the protector of all our interests across the United States. It's going to also the trust is going to actually be a place where we bring land into the trust, and we're actually going to go after all the plantations and try to bring those plantations into the trust. So then our descendants are able to make money off the things they always made money off of us. So I told someone earlier, so are you making this into a business? I said, I'm making it into a reparations business. And anything that actually goes after us, we're gonna be ready to go to war with them. So things are changing. I want it to change for all of us. I want us to be very successful in what we do. But the thing is that they someone said, "Do you not have members yet?" I said, "No. Go. I'm gonna get members because people always go where there's more water, and the Freedom Reparations Fund is going to be dispersed to every verified member of all our winnings, including the land that we get into the trust, is going to be divided out. So that's where I want to land.
Appreciate your
That's
submission, Arthur. It's
cool.
always a blessing to see you. We're gonna go to none right quick, make a quick submission,
But
and then
just again,
Peace
I just
and
wanted the space to just acknowledge that we want to thank you, Arthur, for everything you've been doing
oh,
for the
definitely, no
community.
doubt.
For thank you so much.
Thank you, Nikki. We're gonna go to none, make a quick submission, and
thank
proponent,
you.
and I'll
Peace.
let no taxation land. Go ahead now.
Thank you, None. Peace and
No, Nate, I'm
blessings
sorry.
to, that's okay. Peace and blessings to the room, everyone. Good evening. There's a few points I want to land on. And thank you to all of you. Thank you for opening up the space, Nikki, Wani, Professor Allen. Thank you, everyone, and to the family. So, a few points I want to touch on regarding help from Ethiopians. So, obviously, the flyer is completely disrespectful. What hones this in for me as a parent, as an educator, is that there's a generation that don't know the stories and the history and the legacies like we know them. And of course, people even older than me know them. The stories have been rewritten, retold. People use Dr. King's name and legacy, our sister Rosa Parks' legacy for all type of things. And there's a generation, 20 some years old, 30 some year old, they see that and they don't know it like our grandmothers told us. They don't know it like when you were in school, especially in historical areas on different coasts where you had parades where you dressed up as them, you told the stories, you knew their families, you could recite their children's. I still know the names of Dr. King's children, Malcolm X's daughters. They don't know it like we knew it. And so I agree with the sister Welsing, who really honed in on it, the disgust of it. And it also brings you to the place of like, we consider these things like Dr. King, Rosa Parks, like our grandparents, our aunties and our uncles. So many of us can kind of move past this, like, oh, what's wrong? It's not something they're supposed to do. But when you really think about that's someone's father, someone's grandpa, someone's mother, it's despicable. And even if you don't place your parents in that role, these are the church ones. These are people that we respected. So I'm with you, Sister Welsing, that we really have to hone in on it and take this to be hard on it. The other thing, Professor Allen, I tried to look up your book. I can't find the website, so I sent you a message, I believe, to try to
Oh, yeah,
get the copy of the book.
yeah. You go to our story publications. It's in the jumbotron, and put
Okay,
$25 on there, and put your full mailing address, and I'll send it out. So, by the way,
that's
I'm
great.
glad you said that. If you
Mhm.
ordered a book in the last week, they're going out tomorrow. So another batch of books will go out tomorrow morning. And if you want one, I have like 60 left. So put $25 on.
Our
Yes, ma'am.
our story, OUR
It's
story.
in the jumbotron,
Uh,
but it's yes,
oh, so okay,
it's a dollar sign O as in Oscar, U as in
got it.
um uh, uh I'm getting tired. U is in U, R is in Roger, S is in Samuel,
Mhm.
T is in Thomas, O is in Orion, R is in Roger, Y as in Yanni Publications. So, but it's in the jumbotron.
Oh, thank you, Professor Allen. My last question for you, Professor Allen, Dr. Allen, as far as other educators, I'm an educator myself.
Yeah.
Would you consider putting together a group, consultant obviously being paid or however you decide to do it,
Mhm.
for young educators who are going into collegiate,
Oh yeah.
academic atmospheres, just like 10 of us, not a whole lot of folks, people who could be vetted and verified. Like I could really use mentorship around that. Maybe you do it for a 6-month period, a year period. I'm sure you would,
I would
however
love
you
to do
decide to
that.
do it. But just,
I'm a
yeah.
professor of
Hmm.
education, so
Hmm.
with I kind of I train teachers, so I put my work
Hmm.
cell in your DM. So yeah, I would love to
Okay.
form that group, and
Oh, okay.
education is the battlefield. So, a matter of fact, the three-letter organizations, whereas they were used to look for attorneys and accountants exclusively, for the last several
Hmm.
years, they've been looking for teachers educators. Because what is an educator? An educator is a leader. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You're trained how to lead, whereas in schools of law, you're just, it's not, you don't really get that skill set. Um, in medicine and in education, you're trained on, you got students, you're trained on how to lead, it's a very powerful tool if done right. But yeah, I would love to get that group together. That's going to be our liberation right there, is education, educating our children on what real history is. If you look at the system of white supremacy, one severe flaw it has is they tell you what their weakness is. Like they tell you, if you pay attention, they'll tell you what to do. Like coming out on TV saying critical race theory, I would have never thought that history is that important, but they were letting us all know to stay away from history. Well, why am I staying away from it? Because real history, if you study real history, you'll see that the attack systems and vectors they use are repetitive. They keep repeating over and over again. So today we talked about Ethiopia, just to prove this point. And when I went back to scholarship, went to Dr. Chancellor Williams and looked at his book, I saw that race mixing was used as a vector of attack on Ethiopia, which was a very solid culture and a very defended culture. It was defended by the geography. It had they call them cataracts, but it was damn near impossible to attack Ethiopia or Egypt because it was surrounded by cliffs and waterfalls. How are you going to attack it? So they were damn near impenetrable. So the way that they found to attack Ethiopia and Egypt was to send people there. That was like, hey, I'm just looking for somewhere to stay, and to race mix and create a class of mulatto children who were trained to hate the black Ethiopians and to hate the black Egyptians. That attack continues to this day. You have vitriolic groups. I was talking with somebody about Haiti. The same thing happened in Haiti. Haiti beat the strongest military in the fucking world, and didn't barely beat them, beat the living shit out of them. But what happened? How did Haiti what was a flaw? It was the same flaw that happened in Ethiopia, same flaw that happened in Egypt. The mulatto class turned on where they were trained to be against you know, the African class. And you had division, divide and conquer is what I'm saying, and we're seeing that happen in America to a certain extent. So I'm saying that to say, like, history erases the mystery, and if you study history, you'll see how to put up defenses and counterattacks. So hopefully I didn't ramble on, but yeah, I'm
No,
really.
that's very helpful. Thank you, Professor Allen. So I'll definitely be in touch with you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
what subject do you teach?
I'm in social work.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah. Just let's get the group together and we'll form a group on X.
Okay.
Um, Who was next? Capone. What's up?
Oh, nothing, brother. I appreciate the time, appreciate the room and the space. Love y'all, Sister Wanted, Professor, Nikki the God. I'm at work right now, so I might be a little loud in my background. But yeah,
Right.
man, amazing space. I love when Sister Wani unleashed the ancestors on these big head light bulb fly eyed motherfuckers because they
Hey,
do
hey,
need it.
Wani ain't nothing to play with.
Oh, I love her.
The
I
thing I
love
love about Wani
her.
is she starts out real soft.
She'll say the most hoodest shit in the sweetest voice, which make it so goddamn funny. But yeah, I love her. I love y'all, man, and I love my people. But yeah, we just gotta not be afraid of power. Like I heard in the other space with Tariq, we gotta unleash the ancestors. Don't say so. It's our turn now. We swinging big sticks on the yard. We pulling rank. So with that said, I land my plane and I love my people. FBA all day.
Love you too, bro.
And it is rank. Don't
Yes,
forget it.
it's
We got
rank,
rank all those people. They don't have anything to say. They don't
right?
have anything to show for themselves. No kind of humanitarian efforts, nothing. Very little culture. Even this group, who should have the most culture of all,
Oh yeah,
where
yeah.
humanity started. They
Y'all
should
just
have all the culture, but they don't.
y'all just gave me an idea. Like in history education, there's something called rank and file, where you rank different groups based on their achievements. So if we were to rank different melanated groups that fought the system of white supremacy, who would be first, second, and third?
Oh, we would be number one, and everybody else would be zero. They have negative wins.
Well, would Haiti be number two? Because Haiti won against the French.
Yeah, but ultimately they didn't.
Yep.
They ended up over here trying to convince us that they won against the French and that they're worthy. They did fight. Many groups fought, but they just didn't fight enough. And they
Mm,
didn't keep on fighting. And when you hear commentary from Jamaicans of them saying that, why are we talking about slavery? It makes me wonder if they ever had slavery at all.
mm.
Because why would you not know what that is?
I had a
Why are
lot.
you pretending that it's not a thing?
Synchronicity wanting. I had a talk with one of my students today. She's from Jamaica. Her parents are Jamaican. We were talking about.
Hmm.
I was talking. Well, long story short, she was talking about how the British, how there's how do I say this nicely? Some Jamaicans are under the illusion of inclusion. Let's just leave it right there. I'm British, that type of thing. So that's a
In
good question.
Jamaica?
Hmm. Yeah, some of
Yeah,
them go to England to go to school and stuff.
something is going on down there, like with Mexicans and some of the South American people feeling that they're like they were dating the Spanish. No, they rolled up and kicked your baby's heads off
Oh
and
Lord.
chopped your heads off for fun.
See,
And then made jokes about it.
but that goes back to what None was talking about. What I was telling None about real history. If they knew the truth about, and that's graphic as hell, but it's the truth about, like Dick Gregory saying, the babies being buried neck deep in sand and their heads being kicked off, their attitudes towards those colonistic groups would change. You see how you can
I
let
love that, Donna.
you can let a group into your what did Shakespeare say? Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And if you spread some gaslit lie, you can let your enemies right up on you. This shit's deep. Um, no taxation. Last words.
I got popcorn in my mouth. Hey, man, here I come. How y'all doing?
I'm doing well. I hadn't really enjoyed. I learned a lot from this space. I kind of got triggered. I got pissed off, but I learned a lot.
Oh, I was in and out anonymously. It's a good space. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but the parts that I heard, I enjoyed. The learning parts and also the part I got to hear Wani go a couple of times. I love that. And kudos to you, Wani. I saw the counter flyer that you put out to the grotesque flyer that restaurant claimed they had no business with that and they didn't know anything about it. Come to find out they did. So Thanks for making that flyer. I did see that. Somebody wrote an article. Um, I think I put it in the purple pill. I don't know if I put it in the purple. Let me see if I put it in the purple pill.
Well, the funny thing about it is I couldn't come up with two prominent Ethiopians to show having sex because they don't have two prominent Ethiopians. You
Uh,
see how lame the enemy is? The enemy is under my heel and I don't even know it, but it's annoying like a piece of bubble gum. And I
mm,
got to get it off.
I know you did because you said it. And when you said what you said to that man,
Mm.
I forget his name, but that older cat talking about he's an engineer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, I knew then that look, let me just put this out here. That's where you was coming from. Let me say this and let me be very clear about it. So I did get to hear that. Um, I wonder where was y'all when Rihanna was doing the same shit. Rihanna,
Oh yeah, we got on her case, but that was I think when she put those you talked about when she had those gold teeth.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see that was when it was being perceived more like just a disrespectful black person. You see, it's like, what's she doing? It wasn't perceived like you're a foreigner. You don't have the same feeling about these things and you're ignorant. You don't even know what you're doing.
Well, she didn't know either. She didn't know that those grills represent in Southern culture. In Southern culture, they call it dirty South.
Mm-hmm.
In the dirty, those grills represent um, how much money you move on the street through drugs. And so that's not something I would want to see on MLK. I don't give a fuck who Rihanna thinks she is. And I know I was upset and livid about it, and I said, quite a few things to her. But
Yeah,
of
that
course,
was not accepted at all, but the delineation movement had not reached a fevered pitch when she
uh,
did that. That's why it still flew under the radar and we still had that blind spot. Now we can see these people clearly.
mm, well, the other thing I wanted to say was, I guess somebody else we got to get out the paint is Nikki Barnes, and I know she ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Uh, but I guess we gonna have to,
She said
you
all
know.
of our grandmothers were bald headed.
Well, can you, or anybody else in the room, send me what you have? If you got any dirt on her or anything, send it over there to me. DM me.
Okay.
Yeah, but nobody's taking her
Yeah.
seriously. I mean,
That's not the
very
point.
few people are taking
We
her
got Yeah, but
seriously.
we got to
Yeah.
use her. She stuck her neck out. It's her problem. We got to use her.
She had a fight with Mark Carter and it was pretty good. You can
It's my understanding she's had a fight with quite a few people. See, I don't know.
because
Like,
she said our bald headed grandmothers.
oh, she.
She got ignorant.
They said she really crashed out when Harris didn't win. See, I didn't pay any attention to the campaign at all. And I knew Trump was going to win, so I didn't even watch that whole Harris situation. I was like very unconcerned really because I knew what was going to happen. But um, the the bigger picture is to make sure that we let the people at the Florida DNC and the national DNC headquarters is that this is not the kind of person that's going to keep black folks in the party. In fact, she's the kind of person that'll run them away. So, and we'll fix it up and hope we can get her on the road. So, look, hope we can get her on the road. Down the road. But yeah, so if you got something, send it because actually somebody reached out to me because I don't know the lady. I just heard she's hysterical, so I don't know anything about her.
Well, I enjoyed y'all. In conclusion, did FBAs help Ethiopia fight the Italians? Yes. Look through the jumbotron. You'll see heartwarming evidence of such, including but not
Oh,
limited.
can I tell an Ethiopian story?
Uh,
There's a big
One,
statue in a church of John Robinson over there as well.
yeah. If you look through the jumbotron, you'll see, yeah, the statue I put in there. In Ethiopia, it says Colonel John Robinson. It's in the jumbotron. In addition, you'll see evidence of black physicians. This is in 1935, mind you. Black physicians and professionals lining up to give their life. I did see an interview where one black physician said he's prepared to give his life for the Ethiopians. So the answer to the first part of the question is in the affirmative. The second part of the question is, did Ethiopia help FBAs? I could not find any scholarship of my own to prove in the affirmative. And as the record will show, several, three, at least three speakers claiming to be of Ethiopian lineage not said answered in the negative that no, there was no help, and all of the said speakers uh, posited that Black Americans were stupid. My words, not theirs, but foolish to help them. And one, at least two speakers said that nobody owes anybody anything. For the record, I want my people to remember that and use that to guide our decisions moving forward. I enjoyed y'all tonight. Um,
can I
about
tell
bedtime.
a story?
Make it quick because I'm about to get in trouble.
It's real quick. I know a guy in Jersey. He's a Jewish guy, multimillionaire, white guy. And pre-COVID, he would round up about 10, using his own money, he's multimillionaire, about 10 to 15 Ethiopians, dark Ethiopians that were Jews, and relocate them to Israel. And so I said to him, why do you do that? And he said, because they have better blood than us, and we need to have them in our family. So there you go.
Wow. Well, I don't know if you were here, no taxation, but Chancellor Williams, basically, I'm paraphrasing him. Chancellor Williams posited that at some point in early in 3000 BC, Ethiopians would brag. Well, there was a sect of Ethiopians that would brag on, were very proud of their mixed blood. So that's not surprising. It's unfortunate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed y'all.
Mhm.
Oh, did Wani? Did you have any last words?
Good night.
Okay. Nikki, did you have any last words? Well, I enjoyed y'all. I'm gonna go sneak in the bed. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.